subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
He and Spandam have never met, so there doesn't seem to be any conversation between the two, right? Captain Luo Wen, please this way. After all, Luo Wen has not waited for Luo Wen to decide whether to go or not. Kaku made a please gesture. Robin, you go meet Bentham and pick up our boat. Makita, you stay on the Art Proverbs and wait. Weber, Mr. 3, come with me to meet their CP9 chief. Since the other party took the initiative to come to the door, Luo Wen also wanted to see what medicines were sold in the Spandam gourd. The most important thing is that this Kaku's attitude is okay, not very arrogant, and did not directly arouse Luo Wen's killing intent. After whispering to Robin and Makita, he took Weber and Mr. 3 and walked up. Captain, be careful. They're not going to do anything good. Before leaving, Robin specially warned Luo Wen. For the people of world government, Robin is disgusted in his heart. This is one of the reasons why Luo Wen asked Robin to pick up Bentham. Then, Luo Wen's group of 3, led by Kaku, went all the way to the headquarters of Carrera. Advertisement Chapter 64 are the 5 elders full of shit? Along the way, Luo Wen also saw the special geographical environment of the 7 waters. The whole city is entirely built on water, and it seems that the prototype is the Venice on the sea. The shipbuilding craftsmanship in the capital of 7 waters makes the whole city very prosperous. Through a series of intricate waterways, the group arrived at the Carrera headquarters. In the huge living room, several people were already sitting or standing. Luo Wen just glanced at it. Several people were identified. He was standing beside a few corners of the wall. All are members of CP9. Rob Lucci, Jabra, Khalifa, Snuggle Up, Fukaru, and many more, almost undercover in the capital of 7 waters. In order to find the CP9 of Pluton's design drawings, they all appeared here. The battle is not too big, and the only one sitting. It is the commander of CP9, Spandam, while Luo Wen looked at the CP9 crowd. The CP9 crowd also secretly looked at this new pirate newcomer who has recently been rumored in the pirate world. Lu Qi in the corner, for some reason, frowned secretly, his expression a little dignified. It seems that from Luo Wen's body, there is an aura of danger. Ha! You are Luo Wen? It seems that there is nothing special about it. On the other hand, looking at Spandam in the seat, where is Lu Qi's vague perception? After taking a look at Luo Wen, he said with a big laugh. Some words. Advertisement Luo Wen laughed a little angrily. He was really courting death, but he didn't have a seizure right away. He wanted to see what this idiot Spandam was looking for. Weber and Mr. 3 behind Luo Wen's eyes narrowed slightly. The power of devil fruit has been condensed in secret. In front of them, mocking Captain Luo Wen, they naturally couldn't bear it. Click. However, just when Weber and Mr. 3 made a move, the CP9s in various positions of the substation straightened their backs one by one. He stared at the two of them uneasily. A time, the whole hall was filled with a strong smell of gunpowder. Only Spandam, who was foolishly unaware. I came to you this time because I have a message to tell you. Spandam continued. The expression and attitude between the words are like a high-level look, as if he was speaking on behalf of the world government. Not bad considering you beat Golden Lion Shiki. The top of the world government has decided to invite you to replace Shichibukai Crocodile. Be the new Shichibukai and play for us. Spandam directly stated his intention to meet Luo Wen. Serve as the new Shichibukai? Hearing Spandam's words, Luo Wen was a little stunned. Unexpectedly, the world government actually wanted him to become the new 7 warlords of the sea. Are these 5 elders full of shit? Behind the scenes to usurp his kingdom, and then recruit him as Shichibukai. As a dog for them? How disgusting is this to do such a thing? Luo Wen was speechless for a while. These gangsters really don't treat him like a human. It seems that his previous commotion was not too big, and he did not teach them a profound lesson. That's right. Advertisement. I can understand your surprise. After all, it can be selected by the world government. That's your honor. Seeing Luo Wen's surprised look, Spandam thought Luo Wen was excited and surprised. He was still arrogant and proud. Heard. Luo Wen laughed angrily. Nyobi Nyobi. It turns out that CP9 was not very brave before, but has always been brave, especially Sir Spandam. I would like to call you the King of Death. Luo Wen's body arcs slightly. He wants to kill someone? Who knows? Spandam is addicted to his death. One more thing. Since you're going to be Shichibukai, some of the troubles of the world government should be sent on their own initiative. You must understand what I mean, right? Spandam finally spoke to Luo Wen. Hear this. Luo Wen's eyes suddenly narrowed into a more dangerous arc. Of course he knew. When Spandam was talking about trouble, he was alluding to Robin, knowing that Robin is a member of the evil pirates. Spandam also wants to take credit to the world government by asking Luo Wen to take the initiative to hand over Robin. Have to say, this man is so expansive. Bullying has become a habit. Spandam, do you have shit in your head? Did I tell you that I'm joining Shichibukai? Just rely on you rubbish. Are you worthy of commanding me? Luo Wen's remarks made Spandam stunned. Advertisement Chapter 65, What Lousy Wants to Overthrow is the Scum of the World Government. Spandam is still immersed in fantasy. He fantasized about Luo Wen's obedient acceptance of world government's arrangements, and then he had to obey his orders. That's right. Finally, you know each other. Wrong. What did he just say? After saying something to himself, Spandam woke up suddenly. His eyes gradually widened, and he looked at Luo Wen in disbelief. Sir, he said he refused to be Shichibukai. And say we're trash. Caliph on the side raised his glasses and reminded Spandam inappropriately. Snapped. It hurts. Got Caliph's answer again. Spandam slapped the table in the room angrily. The anger that had just been pulled up in an instant was wilted again because of the pain in the palm of the hand. Do you know what you're talking about? You have to be clear. This is the appointment of the world government. It's world government. By doing this, you are challenging the world. After easing the pain, Spandam pointed at Luo Wen and warned viciously. In the eyes of Spandam, world government represents the whole world. The most powerful force in the world. No one can refuse and disobey the orders of the world government. Anyone who tries to challenge the world government will have only one end. That is to be obliterated and disappeared. World government? Heard. The corner of Luo Wen's mouth gradually raised a disdainful arc. What Lousy wants to overthrow is the scum of the world government. Advertisement call. The voice fell. Luo Wen's aura exploded instantly. Caliph, you guys protect your boss. Roar! For a moment, feeling the strong momentum of Luo Wen's eruption, everyone around CP9 was like a formidable enemy. Lu Qi in the corner ordered his companions. Step forward. The flesh and blood of the body swelled wildly. Animal hair grows out quickly, in a blink of an eye, directly transformed into the strongest human beast form. Zoan, cat fruit, panther form, human and beast form. Aware of Luo Wen's strength, Lu Qi came up in the most serious full-strength fighting form. At the same time, under Lu Qi's order, the other CP9s scattered in the corners rushed in front of Spandam one by one. They lined up neatly, keeping Spandam behind him. Members of CP9 know the same. Their leader, Spandam, is not very powerful. Captain C. Weber and Mr. 3 behind Luo Wen took a step forward subconsciously. At the same time, he shouted to Luo Wen. They are all ready to fight at any time. But before the two continued to walk forward, Luo Wen suddenly stretched out his hand to signal the two to stop. Luo Wen's eyes looked around the CP9 crowd and finally stopped on Lu Qi. Suddenly, a plan came into his mind, and he wanted to bring CP9 under his command. Advertisement as an espionage organization directly under the world government. CP9 is excellent in assassination, undercover intelligence gathering, and so on. At present, the Baroque studio controlled by Luo Wen is in need of talents in this field. Before he took out several of the most potential cadres such as Robin Bentham, the Baroque studio basically lost its strong support. If a few CP9 people can be recruited to join the Baroque studio, it will undoubtedly make the development of the information network dominated by the Baroque studio even stronger. Certainly, it is obviously impossible to persuade just by word of mouth. Some more work has to be done. That's included. Show him enough shocking, powerful strength, and the strongest of CP9, Luo Qi. It is the best object for Luo Wen to show his strength. And there is. In CP9, Luo Qi is the most loyal to the world government and the least likely to be recruited. Recruit Luo Qi to the Baroque studio, maybe he will come to show his obedience. Actually, a double agent. The rest of CP9 can try to recruit, but Luo Qi must be solved here first. Think about it. You two stand back. This guy, leave it to me. Luo Wen instructed Weber and Mr. 3. Yes, although I don't know why Luo Wen took the shot personally. The two still obeyed obediently and retreated to the back. A time. In the empty room, the people on both sides split into two sides and retreated. At the center, there is enough space left. Only Luo Wen and Luo Qi are left. It seems that you are really confident in your strength. Seeing that Luo Wen was going to have a one-on-one with him, Luo Qi was slightly surprised and said slowly, "Heard." Luo Wen didn't talk nonsense with Luo Qi anymore. Extending his right hand, the provocative Chong Luki hooked his fingers. Advertisement chapter 66 finger pistol? Just a tickling toy. Tongue. Seeing Luo Wen's very provocative action again, Luo Qi's eyes narrowed into a dangerous arc. The body in the human beast form suddenly squatted down slightly, putting on a posture that was about to accelerate and sprint. Shave, boom. Next moment, Luo Qi quickly stepped on the ground with both feet. Stepping on the ground dozens of times in an instant, the ultimate reaction force generated creates an explosive speed. There was a loud bang. Luo Qi's figure disappeared, and he rushed towards Luo Wen while moving at a high speed. So fast. Seeing Luo Qi's instantaneous burst of speed, Mr. 3 at the back was suddenly surprised. The strongest of CP9? Sure enough, he has trained his physical skills to the ultimate. Weber on the side also nodded. Luo Qi's devil fruit is also a leopard-shaped fruit known for his speed. Plus, he has been trained in hell since he was a child. That body had already become very strong. Combined with the 6 poses that break through the limits of the human body, it is a very difficult opponent. If it weren't for the fact that Spandam was too stupid to have a genius like Rob Lucci come undercover in the 7 waters, he didn't have much time to study armament hockey. I am afraid that Luo Qi's current strength will at least double. On the field, looking at Luo Qi who disappeared, the corner of Luo Wen's mouth rose even more. In an instant, the released observation hockey successfully captured Luo Qi's figure. Perception locks Luo Qi's movement trajectory. In front of a powerful enough observation hockey, no matter how fast he is, he can be caught by insight. Call out. Next second, a rushing sound of breaking wind suddenly sounded. Luo Qi, who disappeared, instantly appeared in front of Luo Wen. Advertisement, the index finger of the right hand stretched out quickly, and the fingertip aimed at Luo Wen's heart. However, at the moment when Luo Qi's figure appeared, Luo Wen's gaze completely synchronized with Luo Qi's movements. But that's when this reaction completely catches up. Luo Wen did not take any defensive and counterattack measures, still standing upright. Actually kept up with Luo Qi's speed, and many more. That guy. Why don't you hide? He's trying to take Luo Qi's attack hard. In an instant, the CP9 people who retreated to the other side had surprised looks on their faces. Several people saw it. Luo Wen obviously kept up with Luo Qi's movements, but that attitude was to use his body to force Luo Qi's attack. Arrogant, confident. After a few people in CP9 saw Luo Wen's move clearly, in their hearts, they all thought that Luo Wen's behavior was undoubtedly courting death. Luo Qi can always be the strongest among them, and his strength is much stronger than anyone else. Since joining CP9, everyone has never met those who dare to take Luo Qi's attack so hard. At the same time, Luo Qi, who launched the attack, also frowned slightly. There was no pause in the action, and the lightning bolt struck Luo Wen's heart with a fatal blow. Finger pistol. Call out. The outstretched index finger gathered the strength of Luo Qi's whole body. After becoming hardened in the 6th form, he stabbed Luo Wen's heart with a super high-speed thrust. Pay the price for your arrogance. As soon as the blow was stabbed, Luo Qi seemed to have seen Luo Wen's flesh and blood, and even his heart was pierced by a finger, dripping with blood. The 6-style finger pistol can make the fingers explode instantly and easily penetrate the human body. It was just the next scene that made everyone in CP9 drop their jaws in shock. Tom! Advertisement, only a muffled sound was heard. The power of Liu Qi's finger pistol burst onto Luo Wen's body. It could be expected that the blood splattered, but the picture of the flesh being pierced did not happen. After one hit, Liu Qi's finger touched Luo Wen's body without causing any injuries at all. Even more exaggerated, Luo Wen was hit. Not even the body took a step back. Abruptly resisted the power of finger pistol. How is this possible? See this scene. Everyone in CP9, including Liu Qi, had a shocking wave in their hearts. Everyone is a 6-style user, and naturally they know the power of the finger pistol. Can Luo Wen really resisted? Hard to imagine. Luo Wen's physical body. How strong is the defense already? Just when everyone was shocked, Luo Wen raised his right hand slowly. Not good, call out. I noticed Luo Wen's movements up close. Liu Qi immediately secretly said something bad. Both feet slammed on the ground. The figure quickly retreated. And so the funny picture happened. Liu Qi, who was alert to the violent exit, just stood firm. This was discovered. Where is Luo when going to attack him? Just with his fingers, he scratched the place that Liu Qi's finger pistol attacked just now. Just tickling. Advertisement Chapter 67, The Horror of Beamon Fruit. The invincible body. This scene obviously humiliated Liu Qi even more. Creak. When did Liu Qi suffer this kind of humiliation? The anger in his heart was instantly ignited. The clenched teeth made a creaking sound. The fists clenched subconsciously. Liu Qi has to be serious, aside. Khalifa felt the murderous aura growing stronger in Liu Qi and said, "This guy's body is indeed a bit hard and outrageous," Kaku said solemnly. I heard Luo Wen's comments from several people in CP9 are so high. Spandam couldn't take it anymore. This time the world government ordered him to recruit Luo Wen to replace Crocodile and become the new Shichibukai. Certainly, the senior officials of the world government have not forgotten Luo Wen's origin and the matter of the Rayleigh Kingdom. Therefore, Spandam was specially told. Once Luo Wen was unwilling to bow his head and surrender, he honestly used Shichibukai for them. Then kill it on the spot, to avoid future troubles. But the more he saw Luo Wen's amazing strength, the more Spandam wanted to persuade Luo Wen to take over as Shichibukai. In this way, he can also, to a certain extent, under the guise of world government, arrange for Luo Wen to cooperate with him to do anything. How could Spandam be reluctant to be sent by such a powerful pirate? Luo Wen, do you really want to challenge the world government? You should have heard that anyone who opposes the world government will not end well. Stop now and accept Shichibukai's job. What happened today, I can pretend it never happened. So ever. Spandam took courage and shouted to Luo Wen again to persuade him. Advertisement, and I can still. Spandam intends to keep talking. Luo Wen's murderous look instantly made Spandam shut up. After a look kills Spandam to shut up, Luo Wen looked at Liu Qi again. CP9 claims to be the strongest in 800 years. Only to this extent? If that's the only way, I'm too disappointed. Luo Wen laughed and sneered. This battle, not just to win, but to win beautifully. Let everyone in CP9 know that Luo Wen recruited them later because they were not afraid of their strength. Really, Luo Wen's words deeply stimulated Liu Qi's nerves again. The murderous aura that Liu Qi radiated from the whole person was like substance, as if even the temperature in the room had dropped a lot. Tom. Immediately after, Liu Qi's hands clenched even tighter. The pounding of the heartbeat in the body can be heard. All the condensed power gathered in Liu Qi's hands. Shave, call out. Next moment, Liu Qi once again used the extreme speed of the 6 shave. An instant sprint came to the side on the left-hand side. The hands are turned into fists, and the fists are opposed to each other. The fist was aimed at Luo Wen's waist. 6 styles, 6 king guns. In an instant, advertisement, all the power condensed by the 2 fists exploded instantly in the form of impact and concentrated on Luo Wen's waist. This move, 6 styles, 6 king spear, is the strongest physical skill of the 6 styles that only Liu Qi can use. Only those who master all the 6 styles of Grandmaster and cultivate the 6 styles to the ultimate can comprehend the strongest profound meaning. The other side, with observation haki, sensing the power of Liu Qi's next blow, Luo Wen finally made a move. I saw Luo Wen turned around quickly. His hands protruded like lightning, and they were aimed directly at Liu Qi's fists. Think about it. Armament haki instantly wrapped around Luo Wen's palms. At the same time, Liu Qi's attack was also completely released. Boom! Clang! A huge explosion sounded suddenly, accompanied by a crisp metal crash. The impact released by Liu Qi's fist slammed into Luo Wen's palms violently. It was just a spark of collision and friction. Still can't shake Luo Wen's body. On the contrary, the impact force spread out, shattering the ground where the two of them were. Boom! After a while, the floor of the room could no longer withstand the damage of the impact. Boom! The ground was completely shattered, and a large crater appeared in place. As the ground shattered, Luo Wen and Liu Qi in the center of the pit both fell to the next floor of the room. How the hell does this guy cultivate his body? Actually, even the 6 King's spears have resisted it. Seeing this scene, everyone in CP9 was completely dumbfounded. Not just finger pistol. Luo Wen actually blocked Liu Qi's 6 King's spear abruptly. Advertisement Chapter 68 One Blade Stream Thunder. Everyone was shocked. What kind of cultivation method? Only to be trained, Luo Wen's monster-level super defensive body. If this goes on, Liu Qi may be in danger. Khalifa shook hands nervously. Once Liu Qi is defeated, it will be them to deal with the monster Luo Wen. Khalifa has no confidence and can resist Luo Wen. It's not very good. Luo Wen, but from the beginning to the end, he never took the initiative to attack. Jabra was equally nervous. Some words. In an instant, the crowd became more dignified. As Jabra said, Luo Wen never took the initiative to attack. With such a strong body, the power of the attack will definitely not be weak. Although Liu Qi used all 6 styles, Luo Wen didn't even move. Hard to imagine. What would happen if Luo Wen attacked? But soon, they knew the answer. The line of sight came to the next floor of the collapsed room floor. Luo Wen and Liu Qi both fell down because of the shattering of the ground. Because it was the attack party, Luo Wen landed one step faster than Liu Qi. After landing, Luo Wen looked up at Liu Qi, who was still falling in midair. Mouth raised, his right hand immediately grabbed the hilt of the saber at his waist. Zizizi. In an instant, holding the palm of the knife handle, an amazing thunderbolt was released, wrapping around the entire knife. One blade streamed thunder. Noisy, it's too late to say. Thunderfruit's lightning entanglement completed in a single thought. Luo Wen instantly stepped on the ground with both feet. The whole person turned into a lightning figure and jumped upwards. Advertisement. With a roar of thunder, the lightning burst into bloom, hitting Liu Qi's chest directly. The terrifying upward momentum pushed Liu Qi's body back to the room just now. Tear. At the same time, the dazzling lightning flashes. Luo Wen drew his sword quickly, accurately and ruthlessly, and slashed towards Liu Qi's chest with a thunderous momentum. Only heard the sound of tearing flesh and blood. Liu Qi's chest was directly slashed open by this knife. The blood suddenly splashed from the wound to the ground. Thump. Wait till the end. Luo Wen retracted his knife and stepped back to the side. On the other hand, Liu Qi. It was a very embarrassing impact on the top of the room. Most of the body smashed into the ceiling and was deeply embedded. Blood was still dripping from the wound. The man also rolled his eyes, obviously suffering from a terrifying slash injury, and almost lost consciousness. Tick-tick, inside the huge room, suddenly became very quiet. Except for the sound of blood dripping down, everyone in CP9 didn't even dare to take a breath. The CP9 crowd looked up at Liu Qi, who was seriously injured. Or like Khalifa covering her mouth in surprise. Or like Kaku's eyes widened and pupils constricted. With different thoughts, everyone was expressing their incomparable shock at the scene in front of them. Quick! It's too fast, from the ground breaking and collapsing to Luo Wen's thunderous strike. But in the blink of an eye, even the people in CP9 didn't see it clearly and didn't react. There was only a flash of lightning in his eyes. Lu Qi became like this. No one thought of it. Luo Wen with such amazing defense. In terms of speed, it is even faster than Lu Qi's explosive speed. That's the ultimate speed that their naked eyes can't keep up with. Advertisement pat. The other side. Luo Wen flicked the blade dashingly and threw the bloodline stained on the blade to the ground. A disdainful voice came out. Don't pretend to be dead. Rob Lucci, I know you're still conscious. Hearing Luo Wen's voice, everyone in CP9 looked at Lu Qi on the ceiling. Click. As predicted. Soon after Luo Wen's voice came out, Lu Qi's body moved, deeply embedded in the ceiling, and suddenly pulled out. Accompanied by countless rubble falling, Lu Qi's body fell. With his body, he rolled in midair, back to the edge of the pit, breathing very fast. Wait for Lu Qi to step back and take a closer look. CP9 people know the seriousness of Lu Qi's injuries. At Lu Qi's chest, an amazing knife-edge slash appeared downward. The knife edge is so deep that you can even vaguely see the white bones in it. I am afraid that if you push one more point, the bones and internal organs will be chopped up. Rao is so. The injuries were serious enough. And this knife wound. There are signs of being spread by lightning, scorched and festering. The wound was so terrifying that it was impossible to look directly at it. Lucci, let's go together. This guy is not something you can... To shut up, see. Bueno just wanted to open his mouth and propose to Lu Qi. Now that we know that Luo Wen's strength is not on the same level as them, the best way. That is, the CP9 people join forces. Maybe even a fight with Luo Wen. Only advertisement chapter 69, 30 million volts Thunderbird. Lu Qi shouted angrily and instantly stopped what Bueno wanted to say, despite knowing that Luo Wen is strong. But Lu Qi has the dignity that belongs to him. He was humiliated and ridiculed by Luo Wen again and again, and now he was beheaded. If at this time, everyone in CP9 will join forces, even defeating Luo Wen, this will always be Lu Qi's inner demon. Lu Qi wants to defeat Luo Wen with his own power. Otherwise, he doesn't deserve the title of the strongest CP9. Bueno, forget it. Lu Qi can't listen to you now. Califa quickly grabbed Bueno and whispered, even if they are both CP9s, the feelings between them are not like normal companions. For Lu Qi, they only have awe, and Lu Qi's character has always been very persistent in doing things, obeying his dark justice. In the missions that Lu Qi performed in the past, he once killed 500 soldiers of his own side. The reason is simply because these soldiers were caught so easily, leading to a crisis in the country, and it was not a pity to die. If at this time other people in CP9 are involved, if the battle is over, even if the battle is over, Lu Qi will even do something to them who intervene under various concerns. Everyone in CP9 closed their mouths one after another. There is no plan to prepare to support Lu Qi anymore. Luo Wen, you should be the most difficult opponent I have encountered over the years. In order to express the recognition of your strength, I will use my strongest trump card moves. To end your life with this trick is enough for you to be proud. Lu Qi wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, said to Luo Wen word by word. Boom! The voice fell. Lu Qi's body squatted down slightly. The momentum of the whole person was sluggish. Advertisement the next second, a rapid burst rises. An even more fierce aura erupted from Lu Qi's body. Then, during the high momentum, Lu Qi no longer has any reservations. The power that the body can mobilize is all condensed. Without exception, they converged to the position of the hands. For a moment, with the condensed infusion of all power. The double fists that Lu Qi's hands turned into seemed to rise up with a transparent force. Invisibly, the power is overflowing. Even the space showed some signs of deformation. It can be seen that the next punch is very powerful. Take my last move, 6 styles, the biggest round 6 king spear. Boom! A roar came out. Lu Qi stepped on the ground with both feet. The whole person rushed straight towards Luo Wen. When the body is close to Luo Wen a certain distance, the clenched fists of both hands were once again compared to opposing postures. The direction of the fist. Aim at Luo Wen on the front. Just get close and unleash all the condensed power. The power of cohesion has indeed increased. Just the speed, too slow. However, facing the menacing Lu Qi, Luo Wen still looked relaxed and indifferent. Not in a hurry. Advertisement pointing the saber in his hand at the tip of Lu Qi, who was rushing towards him. Sizzle on the knife. The violent thunder and lightning flickered and beat constantly. 30 million volts, Thunderbird. Boom! In an instant, the full of violent thunder and lightning was instantly released from the knife. Furious lightning surges. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a huge Thunderbird. The Thunderbird exudes a terrifying wave of destruction, and at an unavoidable speed, it rushes towards Lu Qi. You must know that the 30 million volt Thunderbird displayed by Luo Wen is several times stronger than the one displayed by Enel, because Luo Wen's move was cut with a knife. Combined with his own sword Qi, the terrifying power of Menghua, the combination of the three, is naturally much stronger than Enel's 30 million volts. Lu Qi hadn't even used the last trick he was proud of. It was bitten by a Thunderbird. Lightning flashes. What? Lu Qi's scream of pain suddenly came out. The terrifying impact of the Thunderbird made him unable to resist at all. What's even more disgusting is that the high-voltage lightning released by the Thunderbird also continuously stimulated and damaged his body. For a time, Lu Qi's entire body was paralyzed, and the strength of resistance weakened. So I saw the Thunderbird bite Lu Qi's body tightly, when the thunder and lightning completely engulfed Lu Qi's figure. Rush up! He hit the ceiling of the room directly and went to the room on the upper floor. Boom! Next second, the violent thunder and lightning were completely released. Light up the entire room with lightning. Lu Qi, who was wrapped in lightning, was madly shocked by electric shocks at a very high frequency. Just a face-to-face effort is as strong as Lu Qi's body. The skin was split open and the flesh was blurred. The lightning strike of 30 million volts is enough for Lu Qi to drink a pot. Lightning! He can still unleash lightning? Advertisement Chapter 70. Why are we retreating? I am retreating. You back up. Seeing with his own eyes that Lu Qi couldn't even put out his moves and was blown away abruptly. CP9 people don't know what to use to describe the mood at this moment. Not only the physical defense is the same as that of monsters. It was so fast that they couldn't keep up. Even the slashing power is lethal. Now seeing Luo Wen again, he can even release lightning. Everyone in CP9 obviously can't bear the idea of fighting Luo Wen anymore. In this case, you can't move, you can't escape. How can we continue to fight against Luo Wen? Quickly! Lu Qi, who was slammed into the upper floor, suffered a devastating blow of thunder and lightning, and finally gradually weakened. After the lightning power of the 30 million volt Thunderbird gradually dissipated, Lu Qi fell to the floor of the room on the upper floor. The whole body was scorched black and festered by the lightning strike. Up and down the body, not a single spot is intact. After the heavy fall, Lu Qi could no longer stand up, and his breath was stagnant. He was on the verge of dying from serious injuries. Sir, even Lu Qi is not his opponent. Let's retreat now, see. Khalifa motioned to Spandam rationally. Stay. No matter who they are, face Luo Wen together. There is no doubt that it will only be a dead end. The illusion that felt that he could win against Luo Wen at the beginning has long since vanished. What us? It's me. You all stay, and let me stop him first. Advertisement, after I evacuate safely, you will find a way to keep up, heard. Spandam woke up, impatiently pushed away Khalifa, said sternly, as soon as the words came out. In an instant, the expressions of everyone in CP9 changed greatly. There is disgust, there is hatred, and there is helplessness. Various complex expressions. Khalifa, who was pushed away, also gritted his teeth and clenched his hands subconsciously. They do everything they can to protect. That's the kind of person. How? You still want to disobey my orders? I don't care what you guys do. I must protect my safety. This is the first condition of your existence. Even if you want to die, you must obey. You should know to disobey my orders. The fate of disobeying the orders of the world government. Even if he was slow to react, Spandam sensed the change in the expressions of the crowd. Immediately, they continued to reprimand the CP9 crowd, especially when I heard that Spandam moved out of the backer world government. Everyone in CP9 lowered their heads silently. As Spandam said, since they chose to join CP9, there is no way out. Obeying orders is their only choice. Even if they were to die for a piece of trash like Spandam. Say it. Spandam hurriedly ran for his life, pushed open another door behind him, and made a gesture to get out of here first. Noisy, but just when Spandam thought he could escape smoothly, a harsh thunder suddenly sounded. Advertisement the moment you hear the thunder. The CP9 crowd immediately realized that it was not good and quickly raised their heads. In the eyes, it is Luo Wen whose feet are full of thunder light. It has come in a flash, appeared in front of Spandam. Thump, you don't come here. What are you guys still doing? Hurry up and kill him, kill him. Luo Wen, who came suddenly, blocked Spandam's way. The speed of thunder fruits increase really surprised Spandam. Spandam fell directly to the ground, using his hands and feet to step back. He did not forget to command the CP9 crowd with an arrogant attitude. Where life is threatened and should beg for mercy, I advise you not to move around. You should understand the gap between me and you. But after Spandam finished speaking, Luo Wen Gujing Wubwa glanced at everyone in CP9 and gave a warning. These words, combined with Luo Wen's faint murderous aura, it really made everyone in CP9 stiffen in place for a while. Not obeying Spandam's order, he stepped forward to stop Luo Wen. See, Luo Wen smiled with satisfaction. Raising his knife, he approached Spandam step by step. Soon he caught up with Spandam, who had been crawling backwards. Don't come, don't come. With Luo Wen coming to him, Spandam panicked completely. Spandam is really feeling the shroud of death. Advertisement Chapter 70. Wasn't you very arrogant just now? How could I be trampled underfoot? Spandam kept shouting, but Luo Wen seemed to be unable to hear his voice. It didn't stop there, approaching Spandam all the way, until Spandam was forced to the corner of the wall. There is no going back. Damn it. Damn it. Then let you die. Ivory assault, call out. At this moment, an accident happened. Spandam, who was still yelling, suddenly stopped. A fierce look flashed in his eyes. He stood up abruptly and drew his sword from his waist. The special sword, Van Guffried, was driven by Spandam for eating the elephant fruit. The half of the sword body suddenly turned into the appearance of an elephant. Enter a special half-beast form, the elephant sword. At the same time, with an elephant sword, Spandam seemed to grab a gap where Luo Wen looked down on him. A sword stabbed Luo Wen's abdomen fiercely. Just where does Spandam know? With Luo Wen's reaction speed, even without advanced precautions, Spandam's sneak attack was as slow as a turtle crawling in his eyes. To succeed in a sneak attack is undoubtedly a fool's dream. And Spandam seems to have forgotten too. Luo Wen's physical defense is strong enough to resist even Lu Qi's attack, not to mention this mediocre sword attack. Clang! I saw the moment when Xiangjin was about to stab Luo Wen in the abdomen. Luo Wen quickly swung the knife. A crisp metal crash sounded. Advertisement with one knife. The attacking elephant sword was directly opened. The powerful force also made Spandam let go like a sword. The elephant sword that was supposed to stab Luo Wen's body finally flew out. It was inserted upside down on the wall beside it. Spandam was instantly dumbfounded. Luo Wen took advantage of the situation and put the knife in his hand against Spandam's neck. The sharp blades cut through some of the flesh on Spandam's neck, and a drop of blood seeped out. Until this time, if the CP9 crowd wanted to help, it was obviously too late. Luo Wen, you can't kill me. When you kill me, you are really declaring war with the world government. Or else, if you let me go, we'll pretend we haven't seen each other. Luo Wen put a knife on his neck, and Spandam confessed in a second. Immediately, he begged Luo Wen humbly for mercy. You don't seem to have figured out your situation. The way Spandam was heard, It was in that threatening tone. Luo Wen sneered and shook his head. Boom! Next moment, suddenly he stretched out his foot and stomped on Spandam's face. The powerful force instantly dented Spandam's entire face. His head slammed hard against the wall behind him. For a time, blood flowed. The teeth were all kicked by this foot, and a few were knocked out. Don't kick. Whatever you want me to do. I promise you. Forgive, spare me, Spandam, who was finally able to distinguish the primary and secondary, immediately expressed to Luo Wen tremblingly. As long as you spare my life, I can promise you anything. Advertisement Spandam understood. Luo Wen doesn't care about offending the world government at all. The threat of moving out of the world government, which was very practical in the past, did not work at all when it fell to Luo Wen. Spandam's arrogant attitude also disappeared. Only the humble begging for mercy remains. Correct. I still have 2 devil fruits here. Originally, the 2 devil fruits were confessed by the above, and they were going to be eaten by CP9. All for you. All for you. Seems to remember something. Spandam hurriedly took out 2 devil fruits with different shapes and textures from his arms. Placed on the ground. 2 devil fruits? I didn't expect Spandam to be so secretive. Luo Wen was a little surprised. Crouch down and take 2 devil fruits in your hands. Aside, CP9's faces were even more ugly. Looking at Spandam's eyes, they are full of disgust. This is obviously the devil fruit given to them by the world government. But as a result, Spandam is still hiding. From the point of view of CP9, if the power of devil fruit can be obtained in advance, maybe this will not be the case today. Everything is caused by Spandam's selfishness. That's right. It was supposed to be eaten by Kaku and Califa. Zoan cow fruit, giraffe form. And Paramecia's bubble fruit. Take the 2 devil fruits in your hands and examine them carefully. Luo Wen also recognized the 2 devil fruits after comparing the devil fruit illustrations he had seen. They are the 2 devil fruits that were supposed to be eaten by Kaku and Califa in the original book. Advertisement Chapter 72. Spandam. I'm a big deal to the outside world, but I'm a big punch to the inside. According to the current timeline, Luffy hasn't even gone out to the Enies lobby yet. Without being threatened, Spandam hides devil fruit. It's almost there. Take 2 devil fruits. Luo Wen nodded with satisfaction and withdrew the foot he stepped on Spandam's face. Immediately after, Luo Wen thought quickly in his mind. There should be a phone bug in your place to communicate with the top officials of the world government. Luo Wen then asked Spandam. Yes. This is it. Hearing Luo Wen's question, Spandam answered quickly. Immediately, from his arms, he took out a phone bug specially used to contact the top executives of the world government. Seeing this, Luo Wen nodded in satisfaction. You find a way to explain it to the people in world government. I want this CP9. Luo Wen immediately stated his intentions directly. Hear Luo Wen's words again. Don't say Spandam was stunned. Even the surrounding CP9 members showed their surprised expressions. Luo Wen spared a lot of time, but he wanted CP9 to join him. Damn it, don't even think about it. We will not leave to betray the world government. That's right, even if it's death. When they came back to their senses, everyone in CP9 expressed their wishes to Luo Wen. It is because of CP9, who is directly under the world government, that everyone knows it. How terrible the fate of betraying the world government will be. Advertisement, even a few of them already have a good ability. No matter how dissatisfied they are with their boss, Spandam. None of them thought about betraying the world government. To them, world government is like an unshakable tree. Anyone who tries to challenge it will be buried. Not to mention betrayal. To shut up, when is it your turn to speak? But before Luo Wen could speak, Spandam, who was slumped on the ground, immediately scolded the CP9 crowd. It is completely different from the resoluteness shown by the CP9 crowd. In Spandam's view, it is very worthwhile to exchange his life with the CP9 crowd. Spandam has always just regarded the CP9 crowd as a tool that can be well used. Spandam's reprimands really made everyone in CP9 quiet. It's their unlucky thing to have such an officer on the stall. The faces of everyone gradually became ugly. It seems to have a hunch that what will happen next is irreversible. Luo Wen, will you let me go as long as I give you CP9? Spandam then confirmed to Luo Wen. Luo Wen nodded. You have to keep your promise. I thought of a good way. After that, Spandam showed an evil smile, immediately picked up the phone bug and dialed. Blah, 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 blah. With the sound of the phone worm dialing, everyone in CP9 raised their hearts in their throats. Several people looked at each other and seemed to be ready to make a move. Oh. Advertisement at this time. Weber and Mr. 3, who had been watching the battle from behind, rushed over. When he came to Luo Wen's side, he also put on a stance and waited. See this scene. The movements of the CP9 crowd came to an abrupt end. One Luo Wen is enough to give them a headache. Now there are two more crew members of the evil pirates, which undoubtedly makes them more afraid to act rashly. Quickly, under the stalemate between the two sides, the phone bug in Spandam's hands connected. What Spandam said next instantly made everyone in CP9 fall into the abyss. Hey, sir, it's me. Spandam. I have unfortunate news to report to you. All members of CP9 disobeyed my orders and blatantly betrayed the world government. I request that they be erased as CP9. Done. It's over now. When the CP9 crowd listened to Spandam's dialogue, the expressions on their faces changed from shock to despair. After all the calculations, the CP9 people never thought of it. In order to survive, Spandam actually charged them with betrayal of the world government and asked the world government to erase their identities. Thinking back to the past, just now, they Ishin protected all kinds of Spandam. No doubt it became very funny. That's right, very sure. They have left their posts without authorization and disappeared. At the same time, Spandam continued to explain to the top of the world government, repeatedly affirming the betrayal of the CP9 crowd. Advertisement Chapter 73. Spandam beaten to death by CP9 immediately after. Spandam released the voice over the phone bug for Luo Wen and everyone else to hear. Since those guys have betrayed, I will report it and remove their CP9 status from now on. Don't worry, I will send new members to take their place. There will also be a bounty for them. You can stay in the Seven Waters and wait for news. Beep. Say it. The phone bug hangs up. CP9 people have been identified as betrayer. Spandam. In order to survive, you actually betrayed us. Seeing this, Khalifa, who was pushed aside and abandoned by Spandam at first, was even more irritated. Pointing at Spandam's nose, he said angrily, Humph, you are just a pawn in the hands of the world government. When necessary, the sacrifice must be sacrificed. How could Spandam pay attention to Khalifa's anger and snorted disdainfully? Subsequently, turning his face away, he changed his face 180 degrees and apologized to Luo Wen. Look, I have already ordered them to be delisted and wanted according to your order. Am I okay to go? Spandam asked Luo Wen with a smile. Not to mention the CP9 crowd, even Luo Wen felt that this Spandam is simply shameless to ultimate. But this way, CP9 people were expelled, wanted, and charged with betrayal. There is definitely no turning back. Luo Wen, give him to me. I would like to go with you. Seeing Spandam's cheap look, Khalifa immediately spoke to Luo Wen. Right, give him to us. Advertisement, we're going with you. We actually wanted to work hard just now for this kind of garbage. Pooh. At Khalifa's suggestion, the rest of the CP9 crowd agreed. Not for anything else, just this breath. They can't swallow it? Make a deal. He's yours now, heard. Luo Wen replied with a smile. Then, he gestured to Weber and Mr. 3 beside him and walked away. It's better for CP9 to kill Spandam than to kill him himself. As a result, it can let several people in CP9 vent their anger and win people's hearts. Second, they can completely cut off their retreat from returning to the world government. After all, they killed their superiors, so the crime of betraying the world government is definitely a sure thing, and it can't be washed away no matter what. This is very helpful for Luo Wen to subdue this professional intelligence team. Wait. Luo Wen, you don't keep your promises. You clearly promised to spare my life. Hearing that Luo Wen agreed to everyone's request in CP9, Spandam panicked instantly. This kind of betrayal, abandonment, and frame up in front of them, where can Spandam not feel the murderousness of the CP9 crowd? Did not expect. Luo Wen also played tricks on him. I did promise to spare your life. But they didn't. Luo Wen laughed. Say it. He ignored Spandam's call for help and turned his back with Weber and Mr. 3. This move undoubtedly pronounced the death of Spandam. What? As Luo Wen and the 3 turned their backs, the CP9 crowd rushed towards Spandam with murderous intent. Advertisement, the anger in his heart was vented to Spandam. A time, inside the huge room, all that was left was the screams of Spandam, which kept ringing. After a while, Spandam's screams gradually diminished, until finally there was no movement at all. See, Luo Wen and Weber, Mr. 3, turn around slowly. Look in front of you again. Everyone in CP9 faced Luo Wen and the 3 of them. Behind the crowd, Spandam was covered in blood, and all kinds of fatal wounds appeared on his body. Not even a normal face could be seen. People are already dead. After cleaning up Spandam, the anger of the CP9 crowd dissipated a little. But the next thing that greets them is the question of where to stay. Now that Spandam is dead, it is obviously impossible to inform the senior officials of the world government to explain. Now you can go with me in peace. Luo Wen looked around the crowd and asked with a smile. And many more. Luo Wen, what do you want us to do? If you also want to use us as pawns, we would rather die here than be betrayed and abandoned again. Meet Luo Wen's gaze. The crowd hesitated for a while. It was Khalifa who took the first step and affirmed to Luo Wen. Now they have nowhere to go, and they don't want to suffer once again to be used as pawns, betrayed and abandoned. If Luo Wen can't give them a satisfactory answer, they would rather die. Anyway, in their opinion, since they have been charged with betrayal, they are not far from death. Tell you the truth. I took a fancy to your excellent intelligence gathering ability, as well as related espionage capabilities. Under my evil pirates, there is a newly formed intelligence organization. Baroque Studio, you must have heard of it. Luo Wen explained bluntly. Advertisement Chapter 74 Conquering CP9, the prototype of the future intelligence network. Baroque Studio? Is that the force formed by the crocodile? You turned it into an intelligence organization. Unexpectedly, Luo Wen not only formed a pirate group, but also transformed into an intelligence organization after taking over the Baroque Studio. This point is that everyone in CP9 is still not clear. After all, the transformation of the Baroque Studio is still on track, and it has not been too obvious to be discovered. That's right. I can assure you. As long as you sincerely manage the intelligence organization of the Baroque Studio for me, you will definitely get more than you are now. And as long as they are mine, I will do my best to protect them, even if you have to face the world government that you fear. Luo Wen solemnly assured everyone. As soon as this word came out, it was obviously very useful. The current situation of the CP9 people is that they have nowhere to go, although their strength is not bad. But once they know that they are wanted criminals who have betrayed the world government, no one would choose to offend the world government and accept them. What the CP9 people need most at this time is a place that is willing to accept them. If it is true according to Luo Wen, let them manage the Baroque Studio. It's still a very good choice. After all, as an intelligence organization, Baroque Studio is what they are good at. Don't question the words of our captain. I used to be a Baroque Studio man in the beginning. Now he has become the core crew member of the evil pirates. Seeing that everyone in CP9 was still hesitating, Mr. 3 said. Advertisement heard. The CP9 crowd was a little moved. As a member of the CP9 espionage organization, although everyone is undercover in the capital of Seven Waters, they still have some understanding of what happened in the world of pirates. Among them was the Baroque Studio set up by Crocodile. Mr. 3 is one of the members of the former Baroque Studio. And now, but it seems to have become the core crew of the evil pirates. This living example is absolutely enough to prove the truth of what Luo Wen said. As long as you truly become a part of them, you will be reused. What you are good at is intelligence gathering. In my Baroque Studio, it's bound to make a difference. Of course, if you want to be the core crew member of the evil pirates, there is also a chance. With the cooperation of Mr. 3, Luo Wen continued to speak to the crowd. You can recall, you handed over your life to the world government. What did you get in return? It sounds ugly, not even a dog. Once there is no use value, it will be immediately delisted and obliterated. Follow me. First, your safety will be guaranteed, your treatment will be greatly improved, and you will have a certain degree of freedom. Secondly, I have my own way to make your strength even better. As for how to do it, you will only be qualified to know when you become the core crew. How about it? I chose to hide in the future, evading the pursuit of the world government all day long. It's better to join me and give yourself a chance to develop again. You choose for yourself. Luo Wen put all the pros and cons on the table and explained it to everyone. As for giving the core crew the ability to double devil fruit, CP9 just opted in. Advertisement, it will also take some time to check. After all, the ability to double devil fruit can be considered the top secret of their most evil pirates. Only after the loyalty of the CP9 people is proved, Luo Wen will inform, and give them a chance to greatly improve their strength. Speaking of this, if the CP9 people still choose not to join, Luo Wen has no choice but to kill and recycle a wave of devil fruit. After hearing Luo Wen's words, CP9 everyone, you look at me, I look at you. Immediately get together and discuss in a low voice, even if you don't mention the fact that it will become the core crew to improve the strength later. Luo Wen's willingness to accept them is indeed enough to touch the CP9 crowd. At the moment, they also don't seem to have any other options. After some deliberation, it is still explained by Khalifa. We've negotiated. We can promise you to join in, but that's up front. If one day we find out that you have plans to treat us as abandoned children, we'll leave immediately, Khalifa said. Finally got a positive answer from the CP9 crowd. A smug smile suddenly appeared on Luo Wen's face. Do not worry. There will never be such a day. Luo Wen laughed. Advertisement chapter 75 in front of Xin Wang. All conspiracies and tricks are invisible so far. Luo Wen successfully recruited everyone from CP9 and served as a cadre of the Baroque studio. With the ability of CP9 people, I believe that the information network of Baroque Studio will soon develop. This trip to the capital of Seven Waters originally just wanted to get back the pirate ship ordered. Unexpectedly, such an elite team was unexpectedly harvested. The participation of CP9 people has also completely laid the foundation of the Baroque Studio Intelligence Network. The most important thing is that in the future, people in the Baroque Studio can do the 6-style training, which is very nice. Khalifa and Mr. 3 stay. The rest will be taken by Weber to join Robin and the others. I still have some things to deal with, and I will rush back in a while. After confirming the addition of CP9, Luo Wen immediately ordered. Weber, you can tell them more about the current size and layout of the Baroque studio on the way. One last addition. Luo Wen patted Weber on the shoulder and gave Weber a look. I will handle it. After all, he was the first to follow Luo Wen. With one look, Weber probably understood what Luo Wen meant. Luo Wen only mentioned the Baroque studio, and Weber naturally knew that there was no need to mention the double devil fruit. Subsequently, Weber left the Carrera headquarters with the CP9 crowd. Suddenly, only Luo Wen, Mr. 3, and the newly joined Khalifa were left. Immediately after, Luo Wen and the two came to the upper floor, the room where Lu Qi was dying. At this time, Lu Qi was already in a semi-conscious state, and his mind was blurred. Khalifa, I just need a secretary who helps me organize my daily affairs. You're also good at this one. I wonder if you would like it? Luo Wen asked Khalifa. Khalifa is undercover in the capital of Seven Waters, where he has been serving as the secretary to the president. As Luo Wen's personal secretary again, he should be able to adapt well. Since the Baroque studio and the evil pirates have gradually grown, Luo Wen has also discovered the importance of the secretary position. In the past, Robin acted temporarily. Advertisement, but Robin still has other things to deal with, such as academic research and the development of the double fruit ability, so he doesn't have much free time. Therefore, Luo Wen still needs to ask Luo Wen personally for many things. Various news and intelligence, the formulation and review of development plans, etc., have caused him a lot of headaches. Therefore, Luo Wen wanted to promote Khalifa as a personal secretary. With Khalifa here, Luo Wen's burden will definitely be lightened a lot. How do you know? Luo Wen's remarks directly makes Khalifa's face a little red. It seems to be thinking in a crooked mind. Forehead, don't get me wrong. I really need a secretary to help me with my day-to-day affairs. After all, the Pirates and Baroque studios have just been established, and there are too many tedious things. Seeing Calipha's pretty face blushing, Luo Wen suddenly realized that something was wrong. Hastily explained, "That's how it is." Heard, Calipha was inexplicably lost and breathed a sigh of relief. "No problem, since I have chosen to join you. I can be your secretary." Calipha readily agreed. Someone in CP9 can get closer to Luo Wen, and naturally he will be more reused by Luo Wen. Calipha thought so. Then what happened next and my conversation with you? I hope you are also absolutely confidential, including the others in CP9. This is an important secret that only our core crew members know. Luo Wen said to Calipha again. Hearing Luo Wen's words, Calipha was slightly taken aback. Unexpectedly, Luo Wen is willing to tell her the secret that the core crew can only know. This kind of magnanimity is completely unmatched by their past commander, Spandam. I understand. Calipha quickly agreed without hesitation. Now that she has chosen to join, as long as she doesn't betray others, Calipha is still very willing to obey Luo Wen's arrangement. Luo Wen decided to tell Calipha the secret of the evil pirates. Advertisement, the main thing is to make Calipha really surrender. After all, he really needs a personal secretary right now. If Calipha becomes his personal secretary, the secret of the double fruit ability will definitely be known to her. That's too passive, not very good. So instead of hiding it, it's better to speak out now. Appears candid and trusting. Of course, it is also important that Luo Wen is not worried that the secret will be leaked, because he has HeartNet. After he ate Thunderfruit, like Enel, observation hockey got a terrifying blessing. The perception range has expanded to the extent of a giant island. Any turbulent movement within a radius of 100 miles can be clearly perceived. In front of Xin Wang, even if Calipha wants to betray, it is impossible. That's why Luo Wen told the secrets so confidently. First, it's one of my abilities. Forbidden Black Coffin. Boom. Talking. Luo Wen walked up to the dying Lu Qi. A thought moves. The huge forbidden demon black coffin was summoned immediately and lay flat on the ground. Calipha's pupils shrank slightly when she saw Luo Wen summoning the forbidden demon black coffin out of thin air. Immediately, I felt faintly that what happened next was definitely not simple. When Calipha wondered about the use of the forbidden magic black coffin, Luo Wen has moved Lu Qi to black coffin. At the same time, there is a fruit. Beep. Next moment, a mysterious black light glowed on the surface of the forbidden black coffin. A mysterious aura quietly exudes. The magical scene made Calipha stunned. Calipha stared straight at the forbidden magic black coffin, waiting for what will happen next. Advertisement Chapter 76: The Shock and Touch of Calipha. Soon, the black light gradually faded away, finally disappeared completely. Then, Luo Wen put his hand into the black coffin and took out a brand new devil fruit with a special pattern. Devil fruit? Is this Lu Qi's? When he saw the brand new devil fruit in Luo Wen's hands with his own eyes, Calipha's face showed a strong shock again. Combined with just now Luo Wen lifted the dying Lu Qi into the black coffin, Calipha seemed to realize something incredible. That's right. This is one of my abilities, recover devil fruit, heard. Luo Wen admitted it generously. Recycle. Devil fruit. Is this really something that can be done? These two short sentences instantly made Calipha's mind start a storm. As one of the members of CP9, he is also demon fruit power. Calipha naturally knows devil fruit very well. But I have never heard that devil fruit can be recycled. Once the capable person dies, devil fruit will reappear in this world after a period of time, which is something that many people know. Just recycling? Unheard of. Yet the facts lay before us. The brand new devil fruit has appeared. Luo Wen also admitted. He has the ability to recover devil fruit. But what Luo Wen said next shocked Calipha even more. Secondly, my other ability, advertisement, remove the negative effects of devil fruit. Simply put, I can give the crew a physique with the ability of double devil fruit. The crew members who have removed the negative effects can eat the second devil fruit without being cursed to burst their bodies. Luo Wen continued. Here Luo Wen's words again. Like Robin and others in the past, Khalifa also couldn't believe what Luo Wen said. To think this is absolutely nonsense. After all, the rule that devil fruit can only eat one piece has existed since ancient times. It's not that no one has tried to eat the second devil fruit, but without exception, they will be cursed to burst their bodies and die. Mr. 3. It seemed that Khalifa would not believe it. Luo Wen immediately gestured to Mr. 3. Understood, Captain. Mr. 3 agreed, immediately walked aside. This is my original devil fruit ability. Wax fruit from Paramecia. Brush. Talking. Mr. 3 has one in both hands. Wax fruit used. The large amount of liquid candles released immediately flowed down the ground. Then, this is after Captain Luo Wen removed the negative effects of devil fruit for me. Second devil fruit I ate. It's also the explosive fruit of Paramecia. The voice fell. Mr. 3 pinched it, released the formed candle ball, and solidified in its hand. Advertisement in an instant. The invisible devil fruit power acts on the candle ball. Done with this, Mr. 3 violently threw the candle ball in his hand towards the big pit that appeared on the floor of the room and connected to the next floor, until Mr. 3 completes a series of operations. Khalifa, who has been staring at Mr. 3, swallowed a spit nervously. Boom! Next second, an explosion sounded suddenly. It was the candle ball that Mr. 3 threw just now, and it suddenly exploded. Fortunately, Mr. 3 is also very well controlled, and the power of the explosion is not particularly exaggerated. It was just a cloud of explosive black smoke in the air. Shocked, unbelievable, astonished beyond words. This is the complicated mood of Khalifa at this moment. Mr. 3's move is undoubtedly a good proof. He is indeed a double demon fruit power. Wax fruit, the ability to explode fruit. Thought here. Khalifa's body trembled a little and looked at Luo Wen. Simply incredible. Once this news spreads, I am afraid that it will instantly attract the shots of all parties. The recovery of devil fruit and the granting of dual devil fruit physiques are definitely enough to make any forces coveted. Khalifa also finally understood why Luo Wen specially told her to keep it secret. If outsiders know this, it will definitely lead to unimaginable disasters. For why? Why are you telling me this? I'm obviously just joined you. Khalifa couldn't even speak. The shock in his heart could not calm down for a long time. Advertisement chapter 77 Bubble Fruit plus Slippery Fruit. I don't need to use people, but I don't need to use people who are suspicious, since I choose to make you a personal secretary. You need to know these things sooner or later. I also believe in my vision. You will not do anything to betray me. Luo Wen said with a smile. That's all. Luo Wen's answer warmed Khalifa's heart. Just because Luo Wen chose to believe her. You know, this secret is before Luo Wen and others have fully grown up. Almost all of them can cause a disaster to the pirates. If Khalifa does find out the secret and makes it public, I am willing to follow you to the death. Captain Luo Wen. After calm down, Khalifa lowered her head slightly and swore to Luo Wen solemnly. And the title of Luo Wen has also become the captain's title. Can be seen. Khalifa was really moved by Luo Wen's sincerity, and she sincerely wanted to follow Luo Wen. Become a member of the Wicked Pirates. Okay, since it's all my own, let's get rid of these etiquettes. Also, there are 2 devil fruits that I collected on hand, which are very suitable for you. Luo Wen waved his hand to signal Khalifa not to be too restrained. Immediately, the slippery fruit that Robin accidentally harvested on the desert island, and the bubble fruit I just got from Spandam. The specific ability information of the 2 devil fruits was told to Khalifa. I want my crew all double demon fruit power, so I will choose the 2 devil fruits with the best fit for the crew and eat them. This slippery fruit is very compatible with the bubble fruit. Luo Wen explained to Khalifa, including the double fruit ability of the slippery fruit and the bubble fruit. As Luo Wen thought before, the combination of these 2 devil fruits will definitely make Khalifa's strength a big step forward. Mentioned earlier, Luo Wen's vision for slippery fruit. The slippery fruit and the bubble fruit are definitely another perfect match. The ability of the slippery fruit is to make the person of ability smooth and frictionless. The bubble fruit can make contact with people, the environment, and objects extremely smooth. The combination of the two can absolutely achieve zero friction perfectly. Even in the face of a stronger opponent, it can make the opponent feel that they are unable to use it. After all, no matter how strong you are, you can't even hold a knife tightly, you can't walk steadily on the road, you will slip away when your fist hits someone, and you won't be able to exert your combat effectiveness. Advertisement after Calipha develops the two fruits to a certain extent and comes to a zero friction field. It will be a god-level assistant. But, I just joined, is it really okay? After Luo Wen finished speaking, Calipha asked hesitantly. After all, she has just joined, and if she is given the ability to double devil fruit, she is worried that other core crew members will be dissatisfied. Now that Luo Wen's special abilities are known, there will be opportunities in the future. No problem at all. I also said that the crew will become dual demon fruit powers. But the premise is that you must find a matching devil fruit with a high degree of fit. This slippery fruit and bubble fruit are none other than you. Luo Wen nodded and said not to worry. Now there are 5 core crew members of the evil pirates. Weber, Rob, and Mr. 3, and Makita are already double demon fruit power. The only remaining Bentham, who is already a clone fruit person, doesn't quite match the devil fruit Luo Wen has on hand. Goals are already in place. Since Calipha has become Luo Wen's personal secretary, he is naturally a core crew member, and the double devil fruit ability must be matched. However, with Luo Wen's repeated affirmation, Calipha took the slippery fruit and the bubble fruit from Luo Wen's hands. Then, Calipha put away the slippery fruit first. He glanced at the bubble fruit in his hand, biting down decisively. It's so bad. As soon as you bite, you can taste the unique and unpalatable taste of devil fruit. Calipha's face turned ugly. It's true that I didn't expect devil fruit that can give people powerful abilities. It would be so hard to swallow. However, Calipha was also strong and was stunned to hold back the taste. The bubble fruit was immediately eaten by it. Go, 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 go. After a while, the ability of the bubble fruit eaten by Calipha begins to take effect. Calipha's body went up and down, and suddenly white foam continued to emerge. In a blink of an eye, the ground was covered with a layer. This is the power of devil fruit. Bubble fruit. Feeling the wonderful sensation of his body, Calipha raised his right hand. A bubble the size of a human head suddenly condensed in the palm of his hand. Slowly wave your hands again. The foam that was just released from Calipha's body also flowed with Calipha's hands. The condensing, spreading, and manipulation of the bubbles are all carried out under the impetus of Calipha's thoughts. This is the power of bubble fruit, being able to manipulate the foam freely and change the shape of the foam. Advertisement: special foam made. A person, object, environment that can be touched. All become slippery and lose friction. Slippery as a bubble. Looking at Calipha, who manipulated the bubble at will, Luo Wen introduced with a smile. The special bubbles, as well as the ability moves that will be extended later, have to be developed by Calipha himself. Bring it on. I will remove the negative effects of devil fruit for you now. Immediately after, Luo Wen said to Calipha. Heard. Calipha waved away the released foam. He came to Luo Wen with a serious look. Next is the main event. What Luo Wen said, the removal of the negative effects of devil fruit, the granting of dual devil fruit abilities and physiques. See Calipha approach. Luo Wen immediately stretched out his right hand and put his palm on Calipha's forehead. Calipha was a little nervous, but he didn't resist. Beep. Immediately after, driven by Luo Wen's thoughts, the familiar Azure special energy was released from Luo Wen's palm. In a blink of an eye, it spreads all over Calipha's body. After a while, the energy light gradually dimmed. Luo Wen then withdrew his palm. Finished. That's all right. Calipha had no idea. This heaven-defying ability, which is definitely enough to shock the entire pirate world, has been completed so simply. There is no special feeling in Calipha throughout the whole process. Certainly, is there any other way to open the altar? Is there another complicated dance of demons? Luo Wen gave a sullen look and Calipha said with a glance. Then I ate. Calipha took out another devil fruit and confirmed it to Luo Wen again. Eat. Gollum. Got Luo Wen's affirmative answer. Calipha took a deep breath. She chose to trust Luo Wen. This is actually a test of trust. After all, everyone in the sea knows that if you eat 2 devil fruits, you will explode and die. Without much hesitation, Calipha bit down on the slippery fruit in his hand. Advertisement chapter 78 cough. Bubble fruit. Everyone who knows it. Because of the experience of eating devil fruit just now, knowing the taste of devil fruit is really hard to compliment. Calipha frowned and swallowed devil fruit without any details. Working a while, Calipha ate the slippery fruit completely. Close your eyes and feel the changes in your body. Another moment passed. Calipha opened her eyes suddenly. The whole body seems to be coated with a layer of synovial film, and it becomes extremely smooth and tender. It is obviously the ability of slippery fruit, which is gradually taking effect. Lock up. Suddenly, Calipha snorted softly. The already proud talent has also undergone a change after the ability to eat the slippery fruit takes effect. The original protruding talent on the spot suddenly became more perfect. That thin Yao has also become extremely thin. The body proportions are almost perfect. The skin is fair and smooth, and even the facial features seem to become more delicate and youthful. Luo Wen knows that this is a side effect of the slippery fruit. If Calipha's appearance at the beginning is 90 points, then after eating the slippery fruit, it went straight to 99 points. Throughout the ranking of the beauty of the entire pirate world, they're definitely on the top. Wonderful feeling. Calipha looked at the changed body and said with a look of surprise. Look in the mirror. 35 Luo Wen reminded. Heard. Calipha took out the vanity mirror that she carried with her. Is it really me? It's okay not to watch. This time, Calipha's voice is broken. No woman will refuse to be beautiful. Advertisement, especially a beauty like Calipha, who is already pretty good-looking. The beauty after eating the slippery fruit is the most pleasant surprise to Calipha. Cough. You can try your new devil fruit ability first. Seeing Calipha immersed in beauty, Luo Wen reminded with a light cough. What? Right. I'll give it a try. Calipha woke up instantly and nodded quickly. The voice fell. Calipha suddenly put away the joking look. Take a deep breath. Concentratingly, the ability of the slippery fruit was used. For a moment, the surface of Calipha's body has become as smooth as a mirror, and the body's tenderness seems to be able to be used as a mirror. Brush. Immediately after, Calipha is just a little bit of ground on the right foot. Without seeing much effort, both feet slid freely on the ground. This silky movement is definitely much better than the effect of her using bubble fruit. And because of its smoothness, the friction between the body and the ground is infinitely reduced. The speed that used to be required to burst out can now be done easily. After a quick glide for a while, I realized the convenience brought by the slippery fruit. Calipha looked at Mr. 3, who was beside him. A wicked smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Now that you can use the slippery fruit, how can you not initially try the effect of the double fruit ability? Wait. Being stared at by Calipha's strange eyes, Mr. 3 suddenly felt bad. Just as he was about to open his mouth to refuse, Calipha sprinted and slid to his close position in an instant. Bubble fruit. Advertisement. The moment Calipha passed Mr. 3. The foam created by Calipha instantly touched Mr. 3's body. In an instant, the ability of the bubble fruit is great, and it affects Mr. 3, seeking flower 0. Then, a very funny scene happened. I saw that after Calipha used the ability to produce bubble fruit, the speed of sliding was smoother and more casual. On the other hand, Mr. 3 was affected by the bubble fruit. The body suddenly became slippery, like a bubble. He was in a hurry, waving his hands and feet randomly, unable to maintain his balance like Calipha at all, not to mention making decent resistance. Thump. Oops. After struggling for a while, Mr. 3 was ultimately unable to gain a foothold. The whole person fell directly on the spot. Seeing this scene, Luo Wen couldn't help laughing. On second thought, Luo Wen felt that Calipha's dual fruit ability, which was later developed, was very useful. It can even cooperate with other crew members. Like, Khalifa first uses the dual abilities of Bubble Fruit and Slippery Fruit. Create a smooth and zero-friction environment so that the enemy in the special environment cannot attack and defend normally and even stand. Then, through a zero-friction environment, let the friction between teammates and the air be zeroed. Greatly increase the speed of teammates. Or cover part of the body of teammates with zero-friction bubbles so that teammates will not suffer bludgeoning damage, etc. One weakens, the other strengthens. It can definitely change the whole situation of the war. The most important thing is that this ability is very useful in both low-end and high-end games, and there is still great potential for development. Of course, there is another point that is more important. That is, after eating the slippery fruit, Khalifa's appearance is ridiculously high. The personal secretary is so eye-catching. It is more important than anything. What's more, bubble cough? Can't think about it anymore. 3. Advertisement Chapter 79 Barbecue Banquet, Mysterious Invisible Assassin. After a while, the ability of Khalifa to disperse bubble fruit and slippery fruit. Mr. 3 then stood up again. After this time, Mr. 3 secretly remembered. Never provoke this woman who looks like a vase in front of you easily. Otherwise, you will be the one to blame. Khalifa, you can follow my plan with the rest of the core crew later. 39. Strive to familiarize and develop both devil fruits as soon as possible. You are a 6-style user, and with the abilities of these 2 devil fruits, your strength will definitely increase a lot. Luo Wen said to Khalifa, I will try to get acquainted with the 2 devil fruits as soon as possible. Khalifa nodded quickly in agreement. As Luo Wen said, Khalifa also deeply feels that her future strength will be greatly improved. Also, let me remind you again, the thing about the ability of the double devil fruit must not be leaked. Otherwise, you should be clear about the stakes, and the world government will never let it go. Luo Wen reminded Khalifa again. Hear Luo Wen's reminder. Khalifa nodded frequently. No one knows the temperament of world government better than Khalifa from CP9. Khalifa certainly knows the importance of keeping this matter private. Let's go. It's time for us to meet them too. Let Khalifa also become a double demon fruit power. Luo Wen glanced at Lu Qi, who was completely breathless. Immediately ignored it, took Mr. 3 and Khalifa, went to the dock, and joined Robin and others. 11 long after, the 3 Luo Wen came to the dock. At the dockyard port, a medium-sized brand-new pirate ship was docked there. The hull of the boat, which is slightly flooded in the sun, looks like a different kind of solidity. Apparently a very rare material was used. Captain, their atmosphere seems a little off. Just when Luo Wen was watching the new pirate ship, Mr. 3, who was following behind him, noticed something was wrong. I saw the shore of the dock port. Robin Bentham stood aside. The CP9 crowd stood on the other side. In the middle is Weber, who is responsible for bringing the CP9 crowd. At this time, it seems to be mediating the slightly tense atmosphere on both sides. Captain, as soon as he saw Luo Wen coming towards him, the quiet atmosphere between the 2 sides was instantly broken, and everyone looked at Luo Wen. Captain, Weber said, you recruited the people from CP9 to join us? Robin stepped forward immediately and asked Luo Wen for confirmation. That's right. The CP9 group will be part of us in the future, but they are mainly responsible for intelligence operations and training of newcomers at the Baroque studio. Hope you all get along well. 39 Luo Wen answered affirmatively. Luo Wen's answer undoubtedly surprised Robin. Just as she first learned about this from Weber, she was also surprised and unacceptable. You know, Robin has not been hunted down by the world government over the years. For the CP9 organization, directly under the world government, it is absolutely impossible to trust it. Captain, isn't it a little too eager for them to take over the Baroque studio? But this was Luo Wen's decision after all, and Robin could only persuade him in a different way. But from the world government. Baroque studios have just been transformed, so let them first. Advertisement, familiarize yourself with it for a while, and then decide. What Robin meant was obvious. That is to doubt the motivation of the CP9 crowd to join. This is normal. After all, in the past, one side represented justice, and the other side represented evil pirates. It's hard not to be suspicious of a sudden identity change. And This is still the CP9 crowd, who are very good at undercover espionage. Heard. Luo Wen looked at Khalifa beside him and nodded. Khalifa immediately understood and walked to the front of the CP9 crowd. Please rest assured, since we have chosen to join, there will never be betrayal. I, Khalifa, first made an oath here to be absolutely loyal to Captain Luo Wen. The rest of the CP9 members too, Khalifa said solemnly. As soon as the words came out, not only Robin and Bentham were dumbfounded. Even the CP9 crowd widened their eyes. Khalifa, how come you look so young and beautiful? No, that's not the point. What are you talking about? Aren't we ready to observe for a while? Kaku, headed by CP9, immediately grabbed Khalifa's sleeve and asked quickly. The moment Khalifa turned around, Kaku and others also noticed the soaring Khalifa. But that's not the point. People are puzzled. Why did it only take so long? Khalifa is so determined to follow Luo Wen? This is so weird. Everyone also noticed that Khalifa directly called Luo Wen the captain. Captain Luo Wen's willingness to accept us has given us a place to live. There is no grudge to let us participate in the management of the Baroque studio. 35, isn't this sincerity enough? Especially after talking to Captain Luo Wen, I have decided. I will definitely follow Captain Luo Wen. Trust me, you will understand in the future how the right decision was made today. Khalifa said to the CP9 crowd. There is no mention of the double devil fruit ability, just used a very vague term. But it's not. Hear Khalifa's explanation. Kaku still wants to ask, but he was persuaded by Jabra, one of the members. Jabra shook his head at Kaku. Jabra, who was more alert, obviously saw what promises Khalifa got when he was alone with Luo Wen. And it's still a promise that is enough to make him surrender. This led to a big change in attitudes. Even a budget-conscious person like Khalifa said this, and they don't need to ask more questions. As for what exactly, when it is time for them to know, they will naturally know. Born in CP9, everyone knows the truth of not asking more. Yes, we will all follow Luo Wen with 100% sincerity. Captain, subsequently, Jabra, as a representative again, showed its attitude. When the rest of the CP9 crowd saw this, they also nodded. Very good. I hope there will be no suspicion between the core crew and CP9. 35 in the future, the two sides will inevitably cooperate with each other. 35, so I also decided. Elevated Khalifa to the core crew and served as my personal secretary. 39 Luo Wen went on to announce Khalifa's promotion. Advertisement, wow. Really? Luo Wen said this next. Both sides had shocked expressions on their faces, especially the CP9 crowd. Secretly amazed, Luo Wen's heart is really big enough. He just directly promoted Khalifa to the core crew. If everyone in CP9 knows that Khalifa has also become the first person in CP9 to be directly given the ability to double devil fruit, it is estimated that in addition to being extremely shocked, he will regret why he did not take the initiative to make friends with Luo Wen. Look at Robin and Bentham. Both also understand the truly amazing significance of Khalifa being promoted to the core crew. The two looked at Khalifa subconsciously. Apparently, Khalifa seems to have gotten something. Okay, our next goal is to go to the New World. 35 before that, we also had to go to Sabaody Archipelago to coat the new pirate ship. It's not too late. Let's go now. Seeing that there was no more arguing between the two sides, Luo Wen gave an order. Everyone boarded the newly built pirate ship one after another. Immediately after, the pirate ship set sail and sailed towards the port, entering and leaving the capital of Seven Waters. When the crowd closed behind Makita, who stayed behind the Ark Proverbs, with the slow rise of the Ark motto, CP9 people saw such a huge golden ship for the first time and could fly freely. Still a little surprised. At the same time, he also re-evaluated Luo Wen's vicious pirate group. The time came to the afternoon 2 days later. The pirate ship 083, which Luo Wen and his party took, sailed on the sea for 2 days. Seeing that there is still some distance from the destination Sabaody Archipelago, I chose a nearby island to stop and rest. After 2 days of getting along, the atmosphere between the 5 core crew members of the evil pirates and the CP9 group has also eased a lot. At least they won't be suspicious and vigilant about each other as they did at the beginning. Captain, at our speed. One more day, and we will reach the Sabaody archipelago. On the deck of the pirate ship, the CP9 people and the 5 members of the evil pirates are preparing food. Secretary Khalifa came to the side of the guardrail next to Luo Wen. After roughly comparing the charts, report to Luo Wen. There is still 1 day left. So let's make an exception for a barbecue banquet today. 35 after calculating the remaining food reserves on board. Luo Wen said with a smile. Anyway, there is still 1 day left to arrive at Sabaody archipelago, but you can let go and eat. Hearing Luo Wen's proposal, smiles appeared on everyone's face. As early as the first day of sailing away from the 7 waters, everyone in CP9 saw Luo Wen's terrifying appetite. So that, consider food storage issues, Secretary Khalifa instantly planned the consumption of 3 meals a day for everyone. But most of them were digested by Luo Wen. Now that I hear that I can have a barbecue banquet, I naturally come to the spirit. However, under Luo Wen's suggestion, the 5 core crew members of the evil pirates have a rare tacit division of labor and cooperation with the CP9 people. A simple oven was set up on the deck to roast a variety of delicious meats from sea kings. The area near where the pirate ship docked. The chatter and laughter of Luo Wen and the crew and cadres rang out. Just when everyone was laughing. From the position of the bow, a small sound suddenly came. Very quiet. It's kind of like being stepped on by something. This kind of volume, even at ordinary times, is difficult to detect. But who were on the pirate ship at this time? Advertisement Chapter 80 under Gecko Moria. Absalom. The core crew of the evil pirates, the elite of the former CP9. The faint voice was still noticed by everyone, especially Luo Wen. After hearing the sound, he directly judged the approximate direction. On the surface, everyone was still laughing and talking, as if they didn't notice it. Looks like there's a guest coming, Luo Wen said with a smile. Captain, leave it to us? 35 CP9 people said immediately. After all, everyone just joined Luo Wen's command. Very much need a chance to perform well. Not in a hurry. Don't scare this guest away yet. 9 Luo Wen said again. For a moment, with Luo Wen blinking, the invisible observation haki was instantly released from Luo Wen's body. In a blink of an eye, cover the entire bow area. In particular, look carefully for the general orientation of the sounds heard in Luo Wen. Strange, available with the proliferation of observation haki. Luo Wen was a little surprised to find out. Over the bow, there is no breath. Empty. It was as if the movement just now had not appeared at all. Captain, what's wrong? Everyone looked at Luo Wen. These 2 days, in addition to letting the crew of the evil pirates and the CP9 people get to know each other better, Luo Wen also informed the CP9 crowd about the basic concept of haki. As for the detailed training method, at present, it is only arranged for Khalifa, who has been promoted to the core crew. Others just got to know first, and if they want to be taught by Luo Wen personally, they have to become the core crew. This has always been the rule of the pirates. Even the cadres of the first batch of Baroque Studios received the same treatment. Seeing Luo Wen frowning slightly, everyone couldn't help but wonder. Judging from Luo Wen's experience, he should have locked the target casually. Something's wrong. 5. The voice just now can't be wrong. But I can't perceive the other person's breath. Luo Wen explained to everyone in a low voice. What? Even the captain's knowledge. Heard. The crowd instantly felt like a formidable enemy. If even Luo Wen's observation haki can be avoided, the opponent's strength will not be known to what extent. Could it be the pursuit of the world government? Kaku frowned worriedly. Probably not. If it was a pursuit, it would have been the bombardment of artillery shells. Luo Wen shook his head and vetoed. But observation haki couldn't sense it and couldn't start. Correct, Khalifa. Use your abilities. Force him out. While thinking about how to deal with it, Luo Wen suddenly saw Khalifa beside him, remembered Khalifa's bubble fruit, and immediately woke up. Clear. Khalifa immediately understood. It seems to have moved behind the CP9 crowd, intentionally or unintentionally. Covered by shadows, Khalifa immediately squatted down and put his palms on the deck floor of the pirate ship. Bubble fruit. Brush. Next moment, Khalifa snorted inwardly. The bubble fruit ability was fully used immediately. In an instant, a large amount of foam quickly spread out from the position where Khalifa was and approached the position of the bow. The bubble was transparent, and the chatter and laughter of Luo Wen and others were covered up. There was almost no movement, and it spread to penetrate. Pat, pat. As more and more foam spreads to the bow, cover the ground around the bow. Two crisp sounds of stepping on the bubble came out. What followed was two footprints that appeared on the foamy ground. Then, the other party fell in a hurry. Got you. See. Khalifa raised his hands suddenly. After locking the position of the enemy, under the control of the mind, countless bubbles suddenly gathered along the place where the footprints appeared. Bubbles converge. A figure's body half appeared. Oops. 39. The visitor suddenly felt bad. He suddenly wanted to run away. However, it was found that the body contaminated with foam was as if it was covered with lubricant, and it could not exert force at all. He could only dance and dance on the spot, unable to stand still. And taking this opportunity, Luo Wen shot. For unknown dangers, he is more inclined to snuff out. Zizizi. One blade stream, lightning flash. Between lightning and flint, Luo Wen suddenly turned around. The body is in a posture that is about to burst into a sprint. The saber clenched in his right hand was instantly filled with astonishing lightning. Nourishing. Next second, in the eyes of everyone, only a galloping thunder light flashed past. Luo Wen's figure turned into a thunder light with an indescribable speed. Passing through the midair of the bow, the figure's body. Puff! With a quick and ruthless strike, the person who came was completely unable to react. He was slashed head-on by Luo Wen's knife. A fountain of blood splashed down. The front of the person's body suddenly burst open with a shocking and terrifying knife mark. Under the slashing power of this blow, the opponent is also like a kite with a broken string. Accelerated fall to the bow deck. Boom! At last, the body hit the ground heavily, and a large mouthful of blood spurted out on the spot. The breath instantly waned. Damn it! 35 good, fast speed. He was stabbed, and his body was still slippery, so he couldn't stand up. The other party had obviously lost the chance to escape. At the same time, the 5 extremely vicious crew members, including the CP9 people, also rushed over instantly. Surrounded him. Behind, Luo Wen's knife went directly to his neck. The cold blade is like Shinigami's sickle. Don't let people dare to move at all. I said who? It turned out to be Moria's subordinate. If I remember correctly, your name is Absalom. 9. After seeing the other party's appearance clearly, Luo Wen smiled and revealed the other party's identity. It is the 7 warlords of the sea, under Gecko Moria. Paramecia, transparent fruit ability, Absalom, one of the 3 monsters, did not expect Moria's people actually appear here. Moria's people? Captain, when did you have an encounter with Moria? Hear Luo Wen's words. Robin and other core crew members of the evil pirates were puzzled. How could someone from Moria appear here? And they actually came to trouble their extremely evil pirate group? I also want to know. Luo Wen shrugged helplessly and said he didn't know either. Logically speaking, apart from being a pirate, Luo Wen has never had any interaction with Moria. Not to mention what beams are formed. Advertisement, he wondered that he had nothing to do with Moria. Putting his mind away, Luo Wen turned to look at Absalom, who was subdued and bleeding from the incision on the front of his body. Transparent fruit, transparent people. It can make itself and objects in contact with the body transparent. This transparency allows even light to penetrate. It can be said to be the top hidden ability. The only flaw is the inability to hide the sound and smell. Also, because of this, Absalom was only noticed by Luo Wen and others when he infiltrated the pirate ship transparently. As you can imagine, this ability, once it falls into the hands of stronger people, absolutely perfect silent and invisible murder. Of course, the stealth of the transparent fruit is also very suitable for sneaking. As long as the sound can be controlled, it is hidden that even observation hockey can't detect. Pity. With the strength of Absalom, it is true that the ability of the transparent fruit cannot be fully exerted. Tell me, why did Moria let you come here? Don't try to fool me casually. What I have here is a way for you to tell the truth. If you don't want to suffer, just tell the truth. Luo Wen told Absalom. Heard. Absalom's face was a little awkward, looking at Robin and the others in front of him with interest. From what he heard, everyone here, it's not something he can provoke. Not to mention why he joined Luo Wen's CP9. I will not betray Moria-sama. You don't want to know anything from my mouth. Judging the current situation cannot escape. Absalom simply turned his heart away, as if I would never betray Moria. Can say half. Luo Wen, who was behind him, quickly closed the knife. The palm protruding like lightning clasped the back of Absalom's head. Pressed down hard. Boom! The force of the palm of the moment. This made Absalom's face smash to the deck ground. There was a BG sound. Blood splattered. The unsuspecting Absalom was hit with blood all over his face. The body, which was already seriously injured, was hit by this blow again. The whole person fell into a state of near death. Luo Wen still understands Absalom's loyalty to Moria. I want to simply learn about Moria's conspiracy from Absa, really Roma. I am afraid it is very difficult. That's why Luo Wen made his move, instead of spending time with Absalom here. It's better to recycle his devil fruit first. The ability of transparent fruit is definitely worthy of Luo Wen's recycling. Khalifa, follow me to the cabin. The rest are staying outside. Don't come in without my order. Immediately after, Luo Wen picked up the dying Absalom, and Khalifa came into the cabin and closed the door. The captain is going to interrogate him personally. This kind of trivial matter, in fact, let us do it, see. Everyone in CP9 thought Luo Wen was going to conduct a series of brutal interrogations to keep everyone outside. Yes, hear what the people of CP9 say. Several members of the core crew echoed and said, only they know. Luo Wen is eyeing the transparent fruit of Absalom. His gaze returned to the battle in the cabin. Captain, are you here to collect transparent fruits? As soon as he entered the cabin, Khalifa also seemed to see Luo Wen's thoughts. Luo Wen smiled and nodded. Mentioned earlier, know Luo Wen's ability to recover devil fruit and the ability to remove devil fruit's negative effects. Only a few core crew members. Therefore, if the transparent fruit is recovered, it should be carried out with as few people as possible. Advertisement Chapter 81 The Order of the World Government. The army of zombies is coming. What are you trying to do to me? Aside. Absalom, who was thrown to the ground by Luo Wen, asked Luo Wen, whose voice was extremely weak. Black coffin. Boom. However, neither Luo Wen nor Khalifa responded to Absalom. Drink lightly. Luo Wen summoned the forbidden magic black coffin. Seeing the huge black coffin that appeared out of thin air, Absalom's pupils shrank slightly. It seems that he has already felt what kind of torture he will suffer next. Damn it. Luo Wen only asked him once. Not even a chance for him to make a firm statement that he will not betray Moria. Luo Wen didn't talk nonsense, just picked up Absalom and threw it into the black coffin. At the same time, there is a prepared fruit. Beep. Next moment, driven by Luo Wen's thoughts, forbidden black coffin's ability works. A mysterious black light filled with light, illuminating the entire cabin room. Absalom in the forbidden black coffin. I only felt that my whole body was wrapped in a cold aura that seemed to come from hell. The rest is up to you. By whatever means, see if you can learn anything from him. Point 35, getting everything ready. Luo Wen immediately said to Khalifa, the ability of Black Coffin is to imprison the devil fruit power that is about to be dispersed at the moment when a person is about to die. Thus, under the action of Black Coffin, forced to respawn on pre-prepared fruit. Absalom seemed to be dying. Luo Wen simply put it into the Black Coffin and then handed it over to Khalifa for torture. If Absalom really can't bear to die in the end, you can also immediately cover the forbidden Black Coffin and recover the transparent fruit of Absalom. 240 Don't worry, leave it to me. After receiving Luo Wen's instructions, Khalifa nodded in agreement. Khalifa was born in CP9 and used to interrogate enemies and extract confessions. Definitely better than Luo Wen. To torture by means of CP9 is to know how to hang the enemy's last breath. Tortured for a long time, Khalifa put gloves on his hands. Before coming to Black Coffin, he took out various tools and started a unique set of torture. What? A time. Inside the huge cabin, Absalom's incomparably shrill screams were heard. Outside the cabin, everyone heard the screams of Absalom, especially the CP9 crowd. It seems that they're all used to it. Regardless of CP9 or Luo Wen, they all understand a truth. To be kind to the enemy is to be cruel to oneself. If they were caught by the enemy today, the enemy would not have pity on them. The moment when Absalom decided to sneak in alone, it was already doomed to fall into this field. After a long time, have to say, CP9's set of torture is still very ingenious. Although he was dying, Khalifa still hangs Absalom, tortured until dusk. I say, just please give me one. Happy. The long-term torture had already defeated Absalom's inner defense line. Absalom, who couldn't hold on any longer, said slowly to Khalifa. At this time, Absalom just wanted to be freed from death as soon as possible. Heard. Luo Wen stepped forward. Just noticed. Absalom's body was already riddled with torture. Advertisement, I have to say, CP9's torture ability is absolutely first class. I'm indeed sent by Lord Moria. I'm just in charge to ask for your information. It's world government. Found Moria-sama. Want him? Destroy your wicked pirates. See Luo Wen approaching. With his last strength, Absalom told Luo Wen the ins and outs of the incident. It was Moria, who was ordered by the world government to try to eradicate the most evil pirates. Say this. Suddenly, Khalifa's face changed slightly. Although I had long thought that it would be targeted by the world government, I didn't expect it to come so soon. This made her nervous. After all, that is the most powerful force that rules the world. Even the 7 warlords of the sea must obey their orders. I know, that's all. Kill me. 35 after speaking, Absalom pleaded with Luo Wen. Hearing Absalom's plea again, Luo Wen immediately motioned Khalifa to step back. Now that the other party has completely escaped, there is no need to torture him anymore. Click. Luo Wen stepped forward and broke Absalom's neck happily. The forbidden black coffin quickly closed it. The mysterious black light became brighter and brighter. After a while, the black light gradually dimmed. Luo Wen opened the coffin lid. He looked inside the forbidden magic black coffin. Absalom had completely cooled and died. Beside him, inside the forbidden magic black coffin, the fruit just put in has changed dramatically. It seems to have become a brand new devil fruit. It is the transparent fruit. Subsequently, Luo Wen took the transparent fruit out of the black coffin. Income in the arms. It's done, Luo Wen said. Aside, Khalifa couldn't contain the surprise on her face. Although it was the second time I saw it with my own eyes. Luo Wen's ability to recycle devil fruit still makes her unbelievable again. Throw the body into the sea. 35, let the others in by the way. 35 Luo Wen gave an order. Khalifa seemed to be used to handling corpses too. Picked up Absalom's body and walked out of the cabin. At last, follow Luo Wen's orders. Throw the corpse into the sea and let the others go to the cabin. When Khalifa and the crowd returned to the cabin again, Luo Wen also shared the information he learned from Absalom. Like Khalifa, BBBF, after hearing that the world government has taken action, no matter how many core crew members or CP9 and others, his face instantly turned serious. Captain, since our goal is to enter the new world, I think it is necessary to send some people first to spread the information network of Baroque Studios from New World. The world government has been eyeing us, and first-hand intelligence information is very important. Robin spoke first. Luo Wen explained earlier that the next step for the evil pirates is to enter the New World. And currently, the information network of the Baroque Studio is also roughly on the other side of the New World, covering the first half of the Grand Line. The importance of intelligence information, naturally needless to say, they can be prepared in advance. It is not until the enemy comes to the front that he knows the danger is approaching. Robin's proposal is also simple. It is to send some members of the Baroque Studio to the New World to step on advertisement for the next route, do a good job in the coverage of the intelligence network. Thus, even if Marine, the world government has any changes, they can know as soon as possible. I think what Robin is saying makes a lot of sense. New World will be an area that we haven't covered. Brothers with Baroque Studios come first. 35, it will be safer. Weber agrees. I heard that both of the core crew members made such a statement. CP9 several people, you look at me, I look at you, realizing this is a great opportunity for them to make a difference. CP9 was recruited to take charge of the Baroque studio, responsible for the formation and development of the intelligence network. Now is the time when they need to use it. Of course, the CP9 people want to perform well. Captain, let's go to New World first. Leading a group of members of the Baroque studio will make the intelligence network spread faster. 95 Kaku, headed by him, immediately asked Luo Wen for help. All right, then it's hard for you to go first. 35, I'll arrange for Makita to send you to the New World. As for the other Baroque studio members, I will also order a group to gather at the Sabaody archipelago as soon as possible. It's time to go with you. Hearing Kaku's invitation, Luo Wen thought for a moment, readily agreed. The information network of the Baroque studio has already become small in the first half of the Grand Line. If the people from CP9 take over, the development space will not be so big. But New World is different. Compared with this, it is definitely full of danger, and it is also suitable for CP9 people to exert their strengths. And then there's the question of Moria .39 after arranging the next action of CP9. Luo Wen spoke again. Since Moria has accepted the world government's entrustment, she wants to attack the most evil pirates. It is not a solution to always be remembered by people behind their backs. Luo Wen is also hesitating. Do you want to detour towards Moria's base camp, the Magic Triangle? Now where Luo Wen and others are located, it is almost a straight line to reach the Sabaody archipelago. And the Magic Triangle is not far, just need extra detours. Thus, it will undoubtedly delay their entry into the New World. What do y'all think? I have roughly analyzed the current situation for everyone to listen to. Luo Wen asked the crowd. The voice fell. The cabin suddenly fell silent. Everyone was lost in thought. As Luo Wen said, Moria has been so secretly staring at him. It's never an option. You can take a special detour to the Magic Triangle, or go straight to the Thriller Bark, the base camp of Moria. There are a lot of variables here. So, about whether to take a detour to the Magic Triangle and attack Moria. Luo Wen and a group of core crew members, cadres, discussed it until the evening. The moon is dark and the wind is high, covered by night. The shore of the island where the pirate ship docked. Suddenly, there was a strange noise. Rustling. I don't know if it was the grass and trees blown by the cold wind, or some animals passed by. Forest on the shore of the island. The movement came more and more frequently. At this time, one after another, figures with ferocious and terrifying faces came out from all directions of the forest. Look closer. More can be found. These terrifying figures are amazingly bandaged zombies. And these zombies, all from the ground, gradually crawled out of the ground. Hundreds of zombie army, taking advantage of the night, gradually approached the pirate ship towards the shore. Advertisement Chapter 82 Swordsman, Dragon Horse, 21 Works of Big Quick Knife, Black Knife, Autumn Water. Look back at Luo Wen again. At the same time, Luo Wen, who is still discussing with everyone. There seems to be some kind of induction in my mind. Subsequently, the corner of Luo Wen's mouth raised a playful arc. It seems that we don't have to discuss it. Someone has delivered it to the door. 35 what? Heard. Everyone jumped up from their seats. One by one, they looked at Luo Wen in surprise. Naturally understood what Luo Wen meant. It must be Luo Wen's powerful observation haki, who sensed something. Combined with Luo Wen's words, it is not difficult to infer that the matter is related to Moria. Captain, shouldn't it be Moria this time? When they thought about Moria, everyone became even more excited. Luo Wen smiled and nodded affirmatively to everyone. The moon is dark and the wind is high to kill the night, but you can choose the time. Yen, after talking to himself, Luo Wen took everyone to the deck. Everyone just came out. Look in the direction of the island in Luo Wen's line of sight. A look of surprise appeared on his face. I saw that it was not far from the pirate ship docked on the shore. On the beach of the island, I don't know when it started, but a large number of figures appeared. And these figures exude an aura that is completely different from living people. What is that? Zombie wrong. It's Moria's zombie army. Quickly, everyone recognized the silhouettes on the beach by the shore. It's Moria's zombie army. Everyone has heard about Moria's zombie army, but it's the first time I've actually met. That kind of rotten and sewed tattered body is really difficult to associate with living people. Zanies, in the pirate world, it is very rare. Only Moria has the ability to create a zombie army. And the zombie army in front of you, at first glance, the number is no less than 1,000. On the body of each zombie, there are obvious number symbols. The zombie army created by Moria, except for the 3 weirdos of the cadre. There are also detailed divisions. Zombie soldier numbers 400 to 799. Scary zombies numbers 200 to 399, as well as stronger general zombies and so on. Look, it seems that most of the elites of the zombie army have appeared here. Not a big deal. Wow! At the same time, Luo Wen and others discovered the zombie army. The zombies of the zombie army also saw Luo Wen and others on the boat. One by one, there were deliberately terrifying and strange noises in their mouths. The ferocious faces swarmed towards the pirate ship. "Captain, you don't need to do these things yourself. Leave it to us." 35 seeing a large number of zombies rushing in. Everyone expressed their wishes to Luo Wen. If Luo Wen had to do everything himself, the crew members would be too incompetent. 55 don't hold back. Also, physical attacks can't completely incapacitate them. Their weakness is salt. As long as the salt touches their bodies, the shadows inside the bodies of these zombies will be released. 5 Luo Wen nodded in agreement and reminded everyone, these zombies are formed by combining the shadows of living people with Moria's shadow fruit. Devil fruit's nemesis is the sea. And if you want to make zombies lose their mobility, the shadows in it will float out. Just smear a handful of salt when attacking. I'm going to get ready. Advertisement heard. Khalifa immediately ran to the cabin, and after a while, took out several bags of salt and distributed it to the CP9 crowd. Everyone, it's a rare opportunity for us to perform. Just leave this time to deal with the zombies to us. 5 of the core crew members were just wondering why they were not allocated some. Jabra of CP9 said to Weber and the others with a smile. Fine. After getting along for the past few days, the relationship between the two sides has also become a lot more harmonious. The members of the CP9 team just joined and wanted to express themselves, and the core crew members could understand it. Very readily agreed. Again, the double devil fruit ability of the core crew members did not want to be too exposed. Superior. Subsequently, everyone in CP9 put on the salt bag and looked at each other, jumped into the pirate ship, and jumped off. Without fear, he took the initiative to enter the zombie army. Bang, 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 bang. A time, various powerful attacks are released. Just a face-to-face charge. The formation of the zombie army was thrown into chaos. The attack mixed with salt also caused fatal injuries to the zombies. One by one, they lost their shadows in their bodies, and they couldn't get up again after falling down. Everyone in CP9 is the leader of Grandmaster Taishu and 6 forms. Based on these random zombies, they are obviously not the opponents of the CP9 crowd. On the scene, although the zombie army occupies an absolute advantage in number, but the situation is completely dominated by the CP9 crowd. Call out. At this time, a zombie figure rushed out from the zombie army crowd. The speed that burst out in an instant is like the wind blowing under your feet. This zombie figure, dressed in a white samurai uniform, held a high-quality saber around his waist. The sight directly locked on Luo when on the pirate ship. Actually ignored the CP9 crowd and went straight to Luo Wen. "You stop me, see." Kaku noticed the samurai zombie very sharply and immediately went forward to intercept it. If this made the samurai zombies rush past, they would be ashamed. "Kaku, let it come over. Leave it to me to deal with it myself." But he hasn't waited for Kaku to intercept it. Luo Wen, who also noticed the samurai zombie, shouted at Kaku. "I understand. Since Luo Wen personally ordered it, Kaku could not refuse." The figure that originally rushed towards the samurai zombie suddenly stopped and instead continued to kill the other zombies in the zombie army. Tom, the other side. Samurai zombies travel unimpeded. After coming under the pirate ship, both feet slammed on the ground. The figure jumped to the guardrail of the pirate ship. The sharp aura unique to swordsmen instantly locked Luo Wen. "Captain, you all stand back." 35, seeing the warrior zombies rushing up, Robin and the others just shouted before being persuaded by Luo Wen. After receiving Luo Wen's instructions, everyone was puzzled. Or go straight to the back. A time for Luo Wen and the samurai zombies. Enough empty space was made. "Zhanghao Lama, I didn't expect to meet you here." Immediately after, Luo Wen's eyes also stayed on the samurai zombie. Said word by word, "This samurai zombie, the zombie corpse used, is unusual. It is the corpse of Wanakuni's swordsman Ryoma. Thought here." Advertisement. Luo Wen also looked down Lama's waist. 4 flowers. Seems to have noticed. Ryoma then slowly drew out his saber. The spine is thick. The blade is a large reverse T-shaped blade. The blade has a dark purple color, engraved with a special red zigzag pattern. It is the same as Tian Yu Zhan and Yin Mo, who are the same as the 21st workers of the Big Quick Sword, the Black Sword Autumn Water. National treasure of Wanakuni. The moment I saw the black knife, Autumn Water, Luo Wen's eyes flashed a light. As for any swordsman, there is no one who does not love the sword. Compared with the world's only 21 big sharp knives and black knives, the saber on Luo Wen's waist was slightly inferior. This is undoubtedly a great opportunity to win Kushui. The higher the quality of the famous sword, the better it will resonate with Haki, and the better the effect of Devil Fruit's ability will be. The moment Luo Wen saw the dragon and horse in the zombie group, Luo Wen had already given birth to the meaning of taking the black sword Autumn Water. "I can feel. You are also a powerful swordsman. Although I don't know why I am still alive, but I have no regrets to be able to fight swordsmen like you again." Lama said to Luo Wen. "It is also a rare opportunity to be able to compete with swordsmen," Luo Wen said with a smile. Immediately, he also pulled out the saber from his waist. After a brief conversation, both of them put on the starting posture of the knife. No superfluous nonsense. Ryoma still retains a certain awareness. Just can't think of anything more. The only thing I remember is that he was a swordsman. Since the horizontal and vertical have to listen to Moria and Luo Wen and others fight, Ryoma would rather have a showdown with Luo Wen, who is also a swordsman. Similarly, Luo Wen also appreciates such swordsmen as Lama. Give Ryoma this one-on-one chance with him. Defeating the dragon horse is the only right thing to do, and become the new owner of the Black Sword and Autumn Water. Bang, bang. Next moment, the two rushed towards each other at the same time, without any Haki's entanglement, without any Devil Fruit ability adulteration. Both of them attacked each other with the purest swordsmanship. Clang! A harsh metal crash sounded. The knives in their hands slashed at each other fiercely. What Ryoma didn't expect was, the two knives collided head-on. Luo Wen's arm strength burst out in an instant. It almost made the Autumn Water in his hand fly out. Rao is so. Against Luo Wen's strong, slashing dragon horse, his body could not stop sliding backwards. The feet left a long trail on the deck, which was able to stop the backward figure. The first encounter between the two, Luo Wen directly used terrifying strength to gain the upper hand. What a terrifying arm strength! The fierceness of the knife is beyond my expectations. You are indeed an opponent worthy of my full attention. He was knocked back by Luo Wen with a knife. Lama didn't panic in the slightest, but couldn't help but praise Luo Wen. "Robin, do you know the origin of this dragon horse?" To be able to compete with the captain in swordsmanship. The other side, although it can be seen that Luo Wen did not use his strength, it was just a simple swordsmanship competition. But Weber was still a little surprised. This seemingly inconspicuous samurai zombie. Actually, he can really fight against Luo Wen without being killed in seconds. Zhanghao Lama. I also know something from some historical records. Wanakuni legendary swordsman. 95. It is said that the dragon horseback then also personally killed the dragon in the sky. Advertisement chapter 83. Autumn Water changes owners. Luo Wen's Gecko Moria. That's why it's also called the Dragon Slayer. A very famous swordsman. 39. Robin tried his best to recall for a moment, then said, "I didn't expect that the legendary dragon-slaying warrior." The body actually fell into Moria's hands. Robin couldn't help but sigh. Although there are reservations about the authenticity of the legend, it is not difficult to see. The dragon horseback then was really very powerful in its heyday. It seems that the captain wants to use pure swordsmanship. Defeat Ryoma. After listening to Robin's explanation, Weber suddenly nodded. I finally understand why Luo Wen doesn't use devil fruit ability. This kind of swordsmanship top opponent is really difficult to meet. Look at the field. Pity. If you were still alive, maybe today's fight would excite me even more. It's a pity that your body has long been unable to support your full sword skills. Facing Longma's admiration, Luo Wen said regretfully. The current Ryoma is a fusion of Brook's shadow. In addition, the body has long since decayed and withered. How much weaker his strength was than before he was alive. Even if the swordsmanship is superb, it will not be able to exert its full strength. Just a face-to-face fight, Luo Wen felt it. Yes, my body can't support the past 240 swordsmanship. 99, to show my respect for you. I will pour all my power into the next knife. One move to decide the winner. Ryoma naturally knows his own situation. Immediately said to Luo Wen, "As you wish." Luo Wen agreed again. The two of them once again posed the starting gesture of slashing with a knife. For a moment, the momentum that the two of them exudes has become extremely sharp. Even the saber clenched tightly in his hand trembled uncontrollably. A slight knife sound in a quiet atmosphere appears very clear. Oh, wait for a while. The two seem to have poured their power into the blade. In a tacit agreement, he raised his knife and rushed towards the opponent. The moment when the silhouette staggered. Lightning fast, draws the sword and slashes at the opponent. The speed of the knife was so fast that even the Robins who were watching the battle could not see it completely. Shoot out the knife so fast. 35, what's the result? Weber exclaimed. Seeing the staggered figures, the two separated again. The figure that rushed past, after stopping, still maintained the posture of slashing with a knife. The tense atmosphere suddenly made everyone hold their breath. Tear. In an instant, Luo Wen's right hand holding the knife, the corner of his arm sleeve, was cut open a hole. The sudden movement shocked Robin and the others. Fortunately, only the corners of the clothes are broken. Luo Wen's body did not see any injuries. Puff! At the same time, a sound of flesh being torn apart suddenly sounded. An amazing knife edge appeared across the front of Ryoma's body. Ryoma's body trembled suddenly. The already depleted corpse did not splash the exaggerated bloodline. Just the wound. Luo Wen smeared the salt on the blade of the saber. It made the shadow in Longma's body unable to survive. Shadow struggled to fly out of Ryoma's mouth. It's me, Luz. This autumn water has followed me all my life. I don't want it to be buried with me. Just give it to you. You are absolutely fit to be its new owner. 95 say it. Advertisement Ryoma completely flew out of the shadow before the consciousness completely dissipated. Use your last strength. The black knife Kushui was retracted into the scabbard. Flick your hand. Thrown to Luo Wen. Snapped. Luo Wen is also quick to close the knife. He turned around, stretched out his hand, and caught the flying black sword Kushui with a steady snap. Do not worry. Autumn water is in my hands. Never let it be buried. 99 receive autumn water. Luo Wen completely dissipated his consciousness and said to the fallen dragon horse, Hey hee, what a touching picture. But you, like him, are going to die here today. At this time, not far from the frontal battlefield, a figure slowly walked out of the dense forest. The unique, strange laughter was introduced into the ears of everyone. Gecko Moria, are you finally willing to show up? After seeing the appearance of the person coming, Luo Wen's eyes gradually turned cold. Murder in the body. It was none other than Shichibukai Gecko Moria. Back in the moment when zombie hordes would be here, Luo Wen guessed that Moria should be nearby. Originally, he was hesitant to go to the magic triangle to solve the trouble of Moria. This time it's good. Moria took the initiative to deliver. And, before this, it was also very timely and sent Luo Wen a black knife and autumn water. Robin, Khalifa, the frontal battle will be left to you to watch. Zizizi confessed to Robin and Khalifa. Luo Wen's thoughts moved. Thunder fruits, lightning flashes instantly on both feet. Nourishing. Then, with Luo Wen's step out, Luo Wen's figure turned into a light of lightning and came in a flash, passed through the frontal battlefield, CP9 crowd, and zombie army. In an instant, he came to Moria. This guy. How can it be so fast? I saw Luo Wen, who suddenly appeared in front of me. Moria pretended to be calm on the surface, but inside she was surprised. The last time I encountered such an exaggerated level of speed, or Marine Admiral, Kizaru that can move at the speed of light after eating sparkling fruit. Just because of this meeting, Luo Wen made Moria fully vigilant. It seems that the world government has promised to give you a lot of benefits. You don't hesitate to come in person and bring so many zombie core with you. Luo Wen looked at the vigilant Moria and said in a mocking tone, if Moria can come in person, the world government can't tell how much benefit it will give. Can be heard. Moria was instantly angry. Indeed, world government has offered enough tempting conditions, provided that Luo Wen is the kind of soft persimmon that can be needed by him. The extreme speed shown by Luo Wen is completely out of balance with the conditions set by the world government. Moria regretted that she did not propose better conditions with the world government at that time. That's all there is to it. Moria also has no way out. Hey, looks like you already know. Blame it. Your arrogant choice is blatantly opposed to the world government. Originally, as long as you promised to become Shichibukai, you wouldn't get killed. Moria said with a smile. It was about Luo Wen, who was spotted by the world government and was about to be promoted to Shichibukai, but was rejected. Moria had apparently heard of it too. In Moria's view, Luo Wen is a rookie who has just risen up and has had some luck to defeat Crocodile, Golden Lion Shiki. Obviously, you can choose to compromise and secretly develop and grow. Advertisement, but arrogantly chose a dead end. My pirates and I are not weak enough to be the dogs of the world government in exchange for stable development. Luo Wen laughed instead. He and the world government have been in an incompatible situation from the very beginning. The world government actually wanted him to be Shichibukai, which is really Shirliji. Just do your best. It seems that you haven't understood the reason for survival after all. Never mind. It's better to kill it as soon as possible, before you grow up. He clenched his fists subconsciously after Luo Wen's words. There was a flash of murderous intent in his eyes. Moria immediately gritted her teeth and said, if it can be done, you can try anyway. Luo Wen didn't care either. Say it. He slowly drew out his newly acquired saber. The black sword Kushui immediately unsheathed. At the same time, Luo Wen's thoughts moved quickly. Armament Haki is instantly wrapped around the right hand holding the knife. The released armament Haki immediately followed Luo Wen's palm and spread to Kushui's blade. Under the moonlight, the blade of Kushui was originally black and purple, but a darker metallic luster appeared. The knife light is slightly bright. Scatter the bats. 39C. He noticed the sharp aura emanating from Kushui in Luo Wen's hands. Moria frowned slightly. Don't dare to attack easily. His hands suddenly lifted up. Under the great power of Shadow Fruit, it splits its own shadow into shadow bats that fill the sky. Countless shadow bats flew towards Luo Wen. However, facing the swarm of bats, Luo Wen stood motionless. With that attitude, Moria's shadow bat was completely ignored. See Luo Wen's movements without evasion. Moria snorted coldly and released more bats one after another. In a blink of an eye, Luo Wen was completely surrounded by hundreds of shadow bats. The crowded shadow bats kept pushing towards Luo Wen. It seemed that he could not wait to tear Luo Wen's body to shreds. Thunder Fruit, 99, God System, 1.5 Judgment, 35 Boom. But right now, surrounded by countless shadow bats, Luo Wen's cold shout came. The voice fell. A dazzling black light suddenly burst out from it. Next moment, the violent thunder and lightning exploded on the spot. Terrifying destructive power, the shadow bats will be surrounded by abruptly. It exploded into pieces and fell to the ground, back to the original shadow appearance. At last, gradually returned to Moria's side. Look in situ. Luo Wen stood there unharmed. It didn't even move. All over the body, one after another, Small thunder lights flickered and swayed. The whole person, giving people a sense of sight of the god of thunder, the already dark night. Suddenly, the thunder light illuminated a large area. It's the captain. Captain and Moria got into a fight. The movement caused by Luo Wen and Moria was quickly discovered by everyone in CP9. Everyone didn't want to miss the rare opportunity to see Luo when fighting. It is even more vigorous, constantly defeating the zombie army. It seems that the captain's magnificent record is on. Another Shichibukai. 35 pirate ship. Weber said. The words are full of confidence in Luo Wen. Advertisement Chapter 80. For the level of monsters is comparable to Kaido. Moria's psychological shadow. The captain beat Golden Lion Shiki. Were you there? Heard. Khalifa hesitated for a few seconds and asked Robin. Luo Wen defeated Golden Lion Shiki, but it was rumored at the time. Even the CP9 people who are undercover in the Seven Waters have heard of it. Only, how the detailed battle process is no one knows. Khalifa just couldn't help but wonder. I want to know the original situation. No need to guess. We couldn't get involved in a fight of that level at the time. 39. It is true that the captain alone defeated the Golden Lion Shiki. And still win. How could Robin not see Khalifa's thoughts? He immediately explained with a smile. Look well, once the captain gets serious, the outcome will be determined immediately. 35. After the general explanation, Robin gestured to Khalifa. Got an affirmative answer from Robin. Khalifa was even more curious. Exactly what Robin said. Luo Wen even wins against the legendary pirate Golden Lion. How powerful is that? Compare this. When Luo Wen played against Liu Qi in the Seven Waters, he definitely didn't use half of his strength. Think about it. Khalifa hurriedly continued to look at the battlefield on Luo Wen's side. His eyes returned to Luo Wen's side. Is that all you can do? 35. Gecko Moria. Luo Wen patted the dust on his body because of the thunder explosion just now. Still with that mocking tone, he asked Moria, "It's just blocking my 11 moves? Stop being smug there." Snapped. Heard. Moria was even more angry. The huge body suddenly squatted down. The palms of both hands slammed the ground. The scattered shadows immediately gathered at Moria's feet at an astonishing speed. Immediately after, the gathered shadow, under Moria's control, began to become extremely sharp. In the blink of an eye, it seemed to have transformed into a long, narrow spear. Shadow gun, call out. Then, Moria's eyes locked on Luo Wen again. The spear transformed from the shadow under his feet actually rose directly from the ground. It turned into a materialized pitch-black spear at an extremely fast speed. Viciously stabbed Luo Wen's body. Oh! The materialized shadow spear is extremely fast. The sharp part of the front end of the spear was whistling with a piercing wind. The resulting momentum is extremely terrifying. Moria's ability to be chosen as the 7 warlords of the sea is beyond doubt. Back then, Moria dared to challenge the 4 emperors Kaido. It was only the subsequent defeat that shattered Moria's self-confidence. Back on the field, facing Moria's sharp attack, Luo Wen still did not dodge. Let it attack and quickly approach to the front. Seeing the moment when the pitch-black spear was about to hit the body, Luo Wen instantly exerted strength. Instead, he held a knife in both hands, under the precise perception of observation hockey. Slash with lightning-like force. Boom! Implemented a quick, accurate, and ruthless knife. Combining Luo Wen's own terrifying explosive power, armament hockey's attack increases. Cut off with a knife, there was a loud explosion. The shadow gun that Moria is proud of was actually stabbed by Luo Wen, abruptly cut into pieces and exploded. How is that possible? 35. I saw this scene with my own eyes. Moria cried out on the spot. The sound was broken. His shadow spear is so sharp that it can easily penetrate even metals and boulders. Can't. Advertisement. But it was cut into pieces by Luo Wen's abrupt knife. And Luo Wen has not yet used the Devil Fruit ability to manipulate lightning. One hit since, Moria started to panic. Even the shadow gun can't help Luo Wen's words. Ordinary shadow and shadow fruit abilities are also ineffective. Is it still only to this extent? When your shadow juggling is over, it'll be mine. Luo Wen spoke again. The whole battle seemed to be gradually breaking Moria's heart. Damn it, damn it. 35, it's impossible for me and him to have such a gap. Shadow Mage. Here Luo Wen's stimulating words again. Moria was instantly furious. He stood up and held the shadow that was shattered by Luo Wen's knife. In an instant, the shattered shadow fragments quickly gathered together again, condensed into a figure exactly like Moria. That is one of Shadow Fruit's ability moves, Shadow Mage. Use your own shadow to become a physical shadow clone, and it is because of the shadow that the shadow clone is formed. The condensed shadow clone can ignore all damage. As long as the Moria of the main body has not fallen, it will be cut to pieces. Shadow clone can also regroup. Kill him. Call out. With Moria's order, condensed shadow clone who appeared in front of Luo Wen and raised his hands suddenly. This is the condensed shadow. In a moment, the raised hands and 5 fingers became extremely sharp and sharp. Then, the sharp 10 fingers aimed at Luo Wen's heart and stabbed it fiercely. This time, Luo Wen just went too far. Looking at the sharp 5 fingers that came, they didn't even move. It's actually going to use the body to resist Moria Shadow Clone's attack. See Luo Wen's amazing move. Moria's pupils tightened as she stared at what was about to happen next. Hearts are hanging up. However, an uneasy thought slowly rose. Clang! It's too late to say. Just when Moria's restless thoughts rose, Shadow Clone's sharp fingers stabbed Luo Wen's chest with all his strength. A crisp metal crash sounded suddenly. In the imagination, Luo Wen's body was pierced with flesh and blood, but the scene of blood splattering did not happen. Shadow Clone's sharp fingertips landed on Luo Wen's body. It was just a spark of fire. There will be no follow-up. Obviously, it is the attacker. Not only did the fingertips of the 10 fingers fail to hurt Luo Wen, but they all hit the body like a steel plate. Broken at the sound. See this scene again. Moria's eyes suddenly widened a lot, looking at Luo Wen in front of him. A terrifying figure that he has never forgotten appeared in his mind. Kaido. Luo Wen's physical defense is so strong that Moria can't help but think of the 4 Emperors Kaido who had played against each other. It's definitely a terrifying memory that will never be forgotten in a lifetime. Moria had no idea. Here, meet a physical body like Kaido. Hard, heinous monster. Thought here. Moria didn't know why. The body could not stop shaking slightly. Do not. I will never lose to the same thing a second time. 99, absolutely not. I'm going to kill you. After forcibly suppressing the inner fear, Moria seemed to be in a state of madness. After a loud roar, the hands were clenched tightly. At the same time, advertisement Moria's aura was skyrocketing. The ability of the Shadow Fruit at this moment has no time to stay and has spurred it to the ultimate. In an instant, there was a strong wind blowing in the surrounding environment. It seems that the temperature has dropped a little. Shadow gathering place. Moria's momentum gradually soared, waiting for some kind of heyday. The wind was howling. Moria straightened up and roared against the wind. He raised his head and opened his mouth. Next moment, a powerful suction burst out and spread inside Moria's open mouth. The suction spreads extremely fast. In a blink of an eye, it covers all the sandy beaches along the shore. Moria-sama, don't. 99, 566. The strange thing is, this powerful suction spread to where Luo Wen, CP9, and others were. But there was no exception. Instead, thousands of shadow zombies that Moria brought. One by one, they screamed and begged for mercy. It's not just these zombies that are still alive. He was even attacked and purified by the CP9 crowd with 240 smears of salt. The shadows flying out of the zombie's body were all affected by this suction. A time, countless shadows lifted off like heavy ghosts, uncontrollably flew towards Moria's location. Thump, 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 with the shadow in the body was forcibly pulled away. The zombie soldiers of those zombie legions, generals, falling down in pieces, completely lost movement. Then, Moria's mouth opened wider. Beginning at an astonishing speed, the shadow will fly. Swallow it all. Moria, he's actually eating shadows? What a strong breath. Moria's power is increasing. 55 see this scene. The CP9 crowd, who had set up their hands, looked at Moria with horror on their faces while resisting the gust of wind. Everyone can clearly feel it. Moria, after eating a lot of shadows. The already astonishing momentum has once again increased terrifyingly. Obviously, he is growing his own strength by swallowing shadows. Tom, Tom, Tom. Look at Moria again. It was accompanied by a dull sound like the sound of a drum. After absorbing a certain amount of shadows, Moria's body changed again. Moria's already huge body was under the constant intake of shadows. Began to gigantic. Limbs, body, head, expands and grows at a rate visible to the naked eye. Work in a while, it has become as tall as a hill. And this huge trend has not stopped there. Still going on? His eyes came to Luo Wen's side. Looking at Moria, who kept getting bigger, Luo Wen slowly clenched the black knife kushui in his hand. Eyes. A sharp cold light flashed by. Boom! Another quick stab. The Moria shadow clone that was entangled around him was knocked back and split in half. Then, Luo Wen looked at Moria again. Naturally recognized, this trick of shadow gathering is impressively the trump card of Moria's shadow fruit. Advertisement Chapter 85 Moria. I have grown stronger and swelled through the shadow fruit ability. All the shadows that Moria can control are gathered. After eating a lot of shadows, Moria's body will become huge. Thus, within a certain period of time, all body attributes have been greatly improved. It is equivalent to forcibly gathering the power that fuses all the shadows. The number of shadows that can be absorbed depends on Moria's physical strength and mental strength. According to Moria's strength, it was already his limit to absorb nearly 1,000 shadows. Anymore, there is a danger of losing consciousness or falling into a state of rampage. After all, every shadow originally has a consciousness that belongs to the Shadow Master. While swallowing the shadow to gain strength, it must also bear the influence of the shadow consciousness. But at this time, Moria was already in a state of rage. Swallowing it regardless actually broke through the absorption limit of the past in one fell swoop. Seeing that the number of swallowed shadows has clearly exceeded the critical point of 1,000. But Moria has no intention of stopping at all. It's amazing. Moria hasn't lost consciousness yet. Abruptly held back. Sizzle C. Luo Wen's thoughts moved. Fully activate Thunder Fruit's abilities. Thunder is frequent. Qiu Shui's blade instantly condensed a dazzling thunder light. 60 million volts, Thunder Dragon. 39 boom. Wait until the lightning force on the knife is condensed enough to be strong. Luo Wen gave a light drink. Holding a knife in both hands, he slashed Moria in the air with the slashing of the blade. The high-intensity thunder and lightning condensed from the knife body were immediately released. The released lightning flashes and flickers in the air. And then on the way to Moria, it evolved into a majestic Thunder Dragon. I saw Thunder Dragon's tail swinging. A blast of thunder rang out. Thunder Dragon immediately charged towards Moria in an extremely shocking way. Thunderbolt, a dragon form? Captain Luo Wen. How can he control lightning to such an extent? Even with her gigantic body, Moria received this blow from the front. 5. I'm afraid they have to fall on the spot. Side of the battlefield. Everyone in CP9 watched Luo Wen's amazing Thunder Dragon. The vigilant ones all stepped back even more, for fear of being affected by the subsequent outbreak of Thunder Dragon. Everyone can clearly feel it. What kind of terrifying destructive power is contained in this Thunder Dragon? That is an exaggerated attack that they absolutely cannot resist. The more so, people are more curious. What is the Devil Fruit ability Luo Wen used? Back to the battlefield. Moria also seemed to sense the dangerous approaching speed. After a doubt, immediately suspended the action of swallowing the shadow. The huge right palm suddenly lifted, facing the open space beside him. Grab it suddenly. Under a master. Shadow clone, which was cut in half by Luo Wen's knife just now, exploded in response. It turned into a shadow bat in the sky and flew to the open space on the side again. Gather again. Transformed into Shadow Clone. Shadow Warrior. At the same time, Moria quickly activated the ability of the Shadow Fruit and used another move, Shadow Warrior. Call out. Just before Luo Wen's Thunder Dragon was about to hit Moria. Moria's body is used by Shadow Warrior's move. Instantly swapped places with Shadow Clone. The Shadow Clone, who was swapped, was hit by the Thunder Dragon Zhengzheng. Boom! All of a sudden, earth-shattering thunder booms resounded across the island. 60 million volt Brontosaurus, after hitting Shadow Clone's body. The tyrannical thunder and lightning power contained in it broke out completely. Advertisement in situ. A mad thunder beam suddenly rose, and the lightning shock that spread out. Destroy the surrounding land. Bang, 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 bang. The earth was constantly bombarded with thunder. The wind and sand swept across the sky. The power of just one blow almost didn't destroy the entire shore. Oh. On the scene, the power of Luo Wen's move is simply too amazing. Without any choice. I also thought about the CP9 people who could watch the battle at close range, retreating again and again. It didn't stop until it retreated to the vicinity of the pirate ship on the shore. Quickly, the bombardment of wild thunder gradually subsided. Wait for the raging thunder and lightning to dissipate completely. Everyone looked back at the place. The earth was forcibly split into an astonishing black crater. As far as the line of sight can be seen, it is a mess. The entire beach was blown away by the impact. The ground below also shattered into dense cracks. What a horrible attack! Seeing Luo Wen's attacking moves with their own eyes, everyone in CP9 couldn't help but get nervous. Not to mention being at the center of that Thunder Dragon's explosion. It is the edge, and the retreat was a little slower just now. I'm afraid they will all end up with a serious injury. This kind of rage strike like nature descends is not the 6 forms that they cultivate. Able to resist, Moria was blown to ashes. Immediately after, people noticed again, the center of the Thunder Dragon eruption, where Moria was just now. It was already empty by now. Moria is nowhere to be seen. Wrong. There. Moria isn't dead. Heard. Robin on the pirate ship saw that something was wrong. Also somewhat surprised, he pointed to the side not far from the explosion point of the mad thunder. After the wind and sand in the sky gradually became thinner and dispersed, and the line of sight became clear, can be seen, Moria's figure appeared there intact. Don't look at the huge size of the Thunder Dragon just now, but the speed at which it can attack is completely the speed of lightning. How do you know? Moria was able to escape safely. At the same time, Luo Wen also looked at Moria on the side. Out of the corner of his eye, he glanced again at the place where the Thunder Dragon exploded. The shadow fragments that remained on the ground. Seems to understand something. Shadow Warrior. This move that instantly swaps the position of oneself and the shadow. You shouldn't be able to use it all the time. Out of familiarity with Moria and Shadow Fruit, Luo Wen explained Moria's evasion method in one sentence. Shadow Warrior is a move that forcibly exchanges abilities and shadow positions. Almost instant use. It can be very good for the ability to evade deadly attacks. Only, after all, the Shadow Clone needs to be released first, and then the position is exchanged. Now that Shadow Clone has been smashed to pieces, Moria can't use this move continuously. Do not. I don't need to dodge anymore. 9 Golem. Heard. Moria reappeared in the public eye. A huge palm grabs, swallow all the shadows that were gathered at the end in one go. Said in a cold tone. Boom! Next moment, after eating the last shadow, Moria's body swelled in size again. The size has become as huge as the adult giant clan. Advertisement huge body, looking down at Luo Wen. Oh, no attack yet, just breathing in and out of the giant body. It made the surrounding environment. A surprisingly strong wind blew. I have to thank you too. Let my strength have a new breakthrough. As a reward to you, I will not kill you. I will take your shadow and become my most loyal subordinate. 99 hee 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 hee. 5 because of the huge body. Even the voice became very loud. Can be heard because Moria broke through herself. She was instantly full of confidence. He even threatened to accept Luo Wen's shadow. But before that, Let's beat you to death first. Whoosh! The voice fell. Moria raised the huge soles of feet, howling astonishingly. A mighty footstep landed on Luo Wen. The range of the huge footsteps was so wide that it almost shrouded the surrounding earth. See? Luo Wen responded quickly and lifted the autumn water in his hand. With the raised blade, he was ready to resist Moria's blow. Clang! Boom! Next second, Moria's huge feet fell completely. The moment the sole of the foot and the blade touch, a harsh metal crash sounded suddenly. Immediately after, the strength of this foot completely exploded. The powerful and astonishing power leaned all over the Q Shui Dao in Luo Wen's hands. A moment of power. The ground on which Luo Wen stepped on was deeply sunken. The figure of Luo Wen was completely covered up. Hee! See it? Pirates of the evil pirates. This is what happens against me. Gecko Moria. I saw Luo Wen was kicked and disappeared without a trace. Moria was finally able to laugh wildly. Hear Moria's laughter. On the far shore, they're the most evil pirates on the pirate ship. The complexion has undergone subtle changes, especially for CP9, who has no more detailed understanding of Luo Wen's strength. They all began to worry about Luo Wen's situation. Damn it, this Moria still has such a whole card. Robin, don't stand still. Go and support the captain. Worried and anxious, Jabra quickly reminded everyone. Don't go. But Jabra just finished speaking. Weber stepped out, stopped the CP9 crowd in place. Weber, what are you doing? Do we want us to watch the captain in danger? Weber's blocking made Jabra a little anxious. Trust the captain. 35 and. This is the captain's battle, and no one is allowed to interfere, Weber said with a serious look. Didn't you see? With Moria's current size, the entire island could be destroyed by him if it is delayed any longer. What will the captain do if he is in danger? 35, Jabra countered. Don't look at the CP9 talents who have just joined the safety of Luo Wen. Still very concerned. After all, now only Luo Wen is willing to take them in. Whether or not the future decides to stay here forever. If Luo Wen is alive, they have a place to live. Shut up all, stop fighting. Advertisement Chapter 86 One Knife Flow, 80 million volts Kieran. At this time, Robin and Khalifa as representatives of both sides. The two who stood up and stopped arguing at the same time. After walking out, Robin glanced at Khalifa in surprise, then nodded. Don't forget that the captain wants us to get along well. Whoever—
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.